Welcome back.
You live?
Yes.
Nice. Hello, everyone.
Sorry, I should have preempted it. Well, look who showed up again. Thank you so much for coming back, you guys. Great to see King Alex, Cybic, our Illuminati faithful. Speeds, we got Kitsune Kira in the house. Thank you guys for making the last Archon quest, like, tolerable until it got to the part where it's genuinely good. Hey, Spickle, welcome back. So happy to see you again. In time to see Monsieur Neuvilleette's cool story quest.
So this one I actually haven't seen yet. So this will be
Sweet.
brand new.
On your mind again? Let's
Yeah.
work through it together. Two heads are better than one.
I think we'll give some people some time to filter in. I will go do some Fontaine requests because I've unlocked those now.
I was fighting the horse yesterday.
Bad. A Scaramouche cannot fight the horse.
Why, just too squishy?
Yes, and I just don't really have good sub DPSs on him.
Oh yeah.
Like, they're fine enough for, like, overworld stuff, but if I actually take it to something slightly hard. I've already switched to my get shit done team for my weekly chores, just because I'm done. I don't want to have fun anymore. I want to win.
That's how it goes, right?
Yes,
It's a regular
that's
video game until the grind
company.
sets in.
And then it's a grocery store. And I'm the one doing curbside delivery. You'll probably beat us, Spickle. But I do love the idea of doing it together as a little book club. I'm surprised that even though they gave this visual hierarchy to world quests, they didn't give any indicator for requests and bounties. Making some fries. Speed's making some spuds. Let's go.
Oh, nice.
Enjoying some nice pomme de terre.
Earth apple.
Quietly now.
Is anyone else as tired as balls today?
I'm
I have no
way
reason
lower
to
energy
be.
than yesterday, possibly just thanks to being online funny man.
I was even low energy before that, and I do enjoy it too. It's not like it's, you know, a horrible drain on me, but I'm actually kind of shocked. I'm still very happy to do this stream today. Definitely am, but I'm like, wow. It's 11, and I'm tired. And it's like, it's the first day of spooky month, for God's sake. We should be up and running and...
Yeah, that's one thing I'll say. It's like, Genshin does not root itself very deeply in any cultural holidays, Lantern Rite notwithstanding. And I mean, you know, why would they? I don't think that, you know, Halloween is super popular in China, but I do miss those seasonal events, you know, where it's like, oh, here's where everything's like orange and purple, and you'll play other MMOs and live service games where it's like, yeah, there's some kind of like bats and candy and stuff, and I'm like, I kind of wish we had a little bit of that here.
I do miss the bats and candy.
We got a little bit of that with the yokai event last year, but that was like Halloween in January.
Yeah.
I guess that was this year, maybe. Was that this year or at the very end of last year? I don't remember anymore.
It was the end of last year because I finished it before New Year's Eve.
Oh, yeah.
That,
Temple of Wisdom.
did that video. Yeah, it would be cool to like follow back maybe on like an every other year rotation. Well, I guess that's kind of what they're doing because they skipped the year and then came back to Windbloom.
Yeah, and Windbloom's like an omni-spring holiday where it's like St. Patty's, Valentine's, and Easter all rolled into one.
It's a, you know, it's one of your Q1 holidays.
It's the Q1 springtime thing.
Yeah.
And I guess there's always a summer event too, so not that some.
Yeah, Hutao is our spooky month rep.
Now you shall perish.
I just miss big jack-o'-lanterns and monsters running around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you there, Speeds. I want the Albedo Melusine hangout event. And, wow, I'm really happy to see such high praise for Neuvillette's story quest because not that it's been bad, their story quests have actually been quite excellent in some of their best writing. So, I feel like we deserve some good writing after the shit we put up with. And then depending on how long that takes and if I'm up to it, I might roll into another quest. I'm not really sure about streaming a world quest because first of all, we'll probably scroll through a lot of the text. And second of all, there's kind of no guaranteed pacing on it. Like, I was interested in the unfinished comedy, but I also kind of don't feel like streaming for 8 hours again.
Yeah, I don't have that in me over here. I'm probably going to dip out after a few hours.
Yeah. I think to call it, to make it safe, just assume that we're just gonna do Neuvillette's quest today. Hello, Ger. Bonjour.
Hello.
Well, yeah, but like, I think we can complain about the Archon quest regardless of how good a story quest is. Just by, like, you know, it being a different thing. But I've never questioned their ability to write better things. I think that's why, like, Act 3 of the 4.1 Archon quest was so disappointing.
I think it was just like weirdly I mean, it was bad, but it was also weirdly paced. Just to go back and rag on it a little bit more.
Genshin always feels like they have to fit a quota for how long a quest has to be, and it doesn't.
Yeah, that's the strange thing. Like, they could have cut out so much of that.
Like, a story is
no
not
one
more
would've picked up
compelling if it's longer.
I see in the chat, Cybic says, I'm now dreading puns. It's like, yep, yeah, that's the Jur experience.
You don't have to live with them. We're all here cramped up in Ningguang's walls. And it's just Pun City.
Looking Alex is saying, not gonna lie, it feels like they put the Archon Quest writers on the Neuvillette quest and the World Quest writers on the Archon quest. Well, that's a good sign. At least for the upcoming quest.
Yeah, I mean,
To memory.
there's no way to tell. But I think ever since we found out that Dark Souls 2 was made by what was considered an internal B team, I feel like that's kind of poisoned our brains, and now we always think of development of being like the premier team that does all the good work and the like kind of sub team that does the stuff, which is obviously not how it goes. So if we ever say that, don't take it at face value. It just feels like it a lot.
I did hear something recently about how one of the senior staff on Dark Souls 2 was one of the like OG Kingsfield devs, and I'm like, you know, that kind of makes a lot of sense, though. It's not so much that it was like a Dark Souls 1 sequel, it was more like Kingsfield X or something.
Yeah, and like we also don't know like how much each dev was influential. You know, just because you have like the same guy doesn't mean that they're gonna, you know,
There is no escape.
carry a large creative influence.
Yeah, or who was like pulled to do like, you know what, during the office, because, you know, staff can be real nebulous internally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all this would be ameliorated just a little bit by them having credits. Like,
Yeah. It's
Oh,
kinda
wait,
crazy.
you mean Genshin?
Yeah, the devs.
well, in terms of Genshin, yeah.
Yeah.
I really wish that it was easier to ascribe authorship to certain parts of games. Like, actually, me and Break and Jur went down a rabbit hole the other weekend because we were like, who is the developer that really created Virgil as a playable character in Devil May Cry 3? Because when you look it up, you can see who concepted him in his first ever appearance in DMC 1, but that has almost nothing to do with what he's like and how he plays in 3, because that was just like a one-off boss instead of a fleshed-out playable character. And then if you do see anything about his DMC3 quote-unquote design process, it's almost always like literally visual design, which is kind of like the opposite of what we're interested in. It's like, how did you decide what he does, what he feels like? And
I mean, just personality-wise, he was always going to be a blue Dante who had a katana. There was kind of no way around that. But, like, why did those tropes exist? Where did the, you know, concept for him doing that come from? Who in DMC4 thought up the, like, concentration mechanic? Like,
Gotcha.
I mean, you can tell because we play a game like Genshin that we are obsessed with finding out, like, the lifespan of influences on creative people and who took what and made what. Seeing how people synthesize the stuff they take in and make new ideas. What am I supposed to be doing?
There is no escape.
I don't know what this is right here.
I think it's a request. I thought I was supposed to be fighting crabs. I'm illiterate.
Oh no, this is for the this is for that one quest. For the one who was just the shakedown guy.
Oh,
I swear by my
that
sword.
crabsman. Alright. Well, fuck that. Oh, did I do all my requests? I don't know, because they don't have a unique icon and design. Oh well.
You say you do all the world quests or all the daily quests?
The weeklies, my faction.
Oh, you can check those out in the
Oh right, the adventure log.
Yeah.
Wow, it's interesting how they're really pushing the adventure log, and I went through 3 years of the game not having it hotkeyed.
Okay, so the interesting thing is
it was not that useful, and now it's like, oh, I kind of have to change my flow here.
So the thing is, I didn't realize how much they had improved it. Like, because here's the thing, right? In Honkai, in Star Rail, it's like the most useful tool because it'll just teleport you to all the locations where things like ley lines and what would be the domains are. And it does that in Genshin too, but I had been so used to it not doing that. Even when they said they had the updates, I really hadn't started using it for that. And
Right.
Now that they've changed it to more of a similar flow, I realized, like, oh yeah, this was also borrowed UI, but because it was more onboarded in the other game,
Mhm.
I wasn't treating it as the same tool when it actually is at this point.
Did everyone get your bubble gun? Wow.
I think you can hold it.
Well, it's on a cooldown,
Oh, it's on a cooldown.
so that you can't, like, grief people with bubble crimes, I guess. God forbid we have fun in this game.
Maybe it'll slow down mobile players too much. Maybe it's like, tripling Mirage with the whatever that gun was.
Well, everyone has a moral obligation to grief mobile players. Don't listen to me.
Haven't they suffered enough?
No.
Having
Not
to
a-
jump and control with the touchpad?
No.
People who play this on mobile are heroes. They're the true OGs, the true
No.
fans.
You would say that because you're not a teapot main. No. Sorry, Kitsune Kira. Then perish. Alright. Speaking of suffering, I think I've wasted everyone's time long enough.
Yeah, let's get to the
Let's go say hi to
Let's get to the
Grandpapa.
Frollo.
All these dudes.
Wait, so you weren't the one who beat the Alhaitham quest?
I think I watched you play it.
No, that wasn't me, because I haven't beaten
Oh.
it.
Oh,
No,
okay.
it
Then
might
it
have
was.
been-
It was definitely.
Might have been like your Neo
Wander
Wander
then.
time.
Alright, so
Yeah.
just do like a little scene behind the curtain here. We will frequently privately stream these over Discord, which is how we kind of engage with a lot of these quests, but it does result in things like this, where we've all seen these Archon or these character quests, but we may not have played them ourselves directly. And in this case, we've completely lost track of which of us played through Alhaitham's quest, even though we all saw it.
I mean, it's easy. We just go to this screen. Alhaitham's quest is one of the best they've ever written. It's in like the top 3. And so is
Honestly-
Yoimiya's. Like, they do just keep getting better.
The volume of like horrible mad scientists and bad mental health situations from crunching and researching in Sumeru was just completely palpable that entire time. It was hyper focused and just really, really zeroing in on that the entire region.
Raymond asked so many questions about his
Yeah,
true
like,
identity.
We did not think Sumeru was going to be that rich as a basis for, like, I don't know, side stories and just kind of an interesting world as far as, like, oh, it's the nation of wisdom. It's just gonna be wizards and scholars and shit. And it's like, yeah, but those wizards and scholars have to pay student loans. Venti is gonna have a part 2 when, you know, Ishtaroth shows back up. He's like super endgame. Oh, it's a slug.
Wait, did I hear that right?
Yeah.
Monsieur Neuvillette, are you
It's kind of
sure
weird too
you'd
because
like
they
to take
typically
over the
do it
case yourself?
so that there are 2 weekly bosses, and then the second one is for the Archon's Part 2 quest. But Venti was kind of before they established that as a trend.
Yeah. Yeah, Venti's in like every event, so don't feel too bad for him.
That's right.
And don't feel too bad for
Why?
Mondstadt, it's the beta
Technically
region.
speaking, cases like this
Yeah.
are better left
That's
to
a
the
proof of concept.
guards.
Neuvillette! Sabine! Hey there! What are you two talking about?
Ugh, Traveler in Paimon, please help me talk our Chief Justice out of this. He wants to investigate a case on his
I think this
own.
actor is the same one who played Timey in Guild Wars 2. I noticed that in the trailer.
This is completely unprecedented. How can we have the Udex acting like a private detective? Huh?
I get it, Kira, although I don't want to overstate my thoughts on Mondstadt characters.
I think, you know, please look forward to Port Dorman. I'm sure that there's going to be at least a little something in there.
I mean,
I don't want more weekly bosses because I don't want more things to do, but I would like more weekly quality bosses.
there's no Kuching story quest, is there? And when there is, by God, I am not gonna do it.
Thank you for your concern, but I currently have no such plans.
What if they lock Ascension mats behind it?
For Kuching,
No, for the game.
ascending the game.
No, I mean, what if they put like another world boss in her quest?
Oh,
Between Apep and Ajdaha, that's 2 weeklies that are in Archon Archon character quests.
yeah, I said Kuching. They're not gonna do that for Kuching.
Oh,
You never know.
apologies, I
Please don't
took
say
your
that.
question in earnest,
They seem to
but
like her a real
it occurs to me that it was
more
most
than
likely in jest.
she
I don't-
deserves at this point.
I
More
don't
than
think
they've
they
justified
do
her.
anymore. I don't think they do. They went hard on Kuching for like 1.5 years.
So, what is it exactly? It
And
sure
then I think they
sounds
backed
serious
off.
if it's something you've got to investigate personally.
A Melusine named Kiara received a threat letter.
Double down on Mona.
And then?
That is all the
that'd be
information I
good.
have acquired at this stage.
I have no idea why you're so hung up over this. I've checked the schedule in advance, and it seems like there aren't any trials today.
Been trying to make a
So, if
Mulan
you insist,
with Sabine, but nothing's coming
I
up.
have no objections.
Thank you for understanding. I will leave a note
I
explaining
suppose
my
all
absence on my
Melusine was
desk.
like a
I would
kid
appreciate
man,
it if you
so
would take it to Lady Farina.
I would
She
bet
may
you that
have no
Neuvillette would
interest
actually have
in
a part
official
2.
affairs.
We have to see
standard
kind of like,
procedure
we really
dictates
got to
that
get
I'm
into
still responsible
Furina
for reporting to
properly,
her.
but I with the amount of pushing Neuvillette's been getting, I could imagine Neuvillette getting a part 2 before Furina does.
especially given that like
Yes, yes.
he seems to be
understood.
given
I'll come back
equally,
later
if not
and
more
deliver the
weight
note to her.
than she is as kind of a regional powerhouse. Like,
But then again,
especially-
we really haven't seen the shoe drop on Furina. Like, there's obviously something going
Judging
on
from
with her.
Sabine's reaction, it must be pretty
and the
rare for you to
Oratrice,
investigate stuff personally.
I cannot tell you just yet, but it reminded me of certain past events.
Yeah, Neuvillette is stopping hate crimes.
There could be complicated conflicts of interest behind all this, so I must eliminate all risks in advance.
Come on, stop being so secretive. We still have no idea what's going on.
It is not my intention to keep you in the dark, but I need some time to revisit those memories and collect my thoughts.
It would be interesting, Kira. It would also just be so disrespectful to poor Furina.
Long story short, a little more than 400 years ago, I became the Udex of Fontaine and initiated a series of institutional reforms.
Here we go. Here's that sweet, sweet sovereign lore. Feed me. I need it to make a crack video.
There were few people I could trust, but I had two subordinates who were exceptionally
Albedo really
trustworthy and
gets
capable.
screwed by what's
Carol,
permanent
Melusine,
and what's not.
And Vautrin, leader of the Special Security and
Which is a shame,
Surveillance
because
Patrol.
he's the most interesting character in Mondstadt.
Exactly.
They must have been amazing people to receive such high praise from you.
Indeed. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to protect them. The reforms damaged the interests of some, and the more conservative faction took advantage of Carol's identity to instigate political unrest. Ultimately, they wanted me to yield more of my power.
Is this the Dreyfus affair?
Huh.
Is this the Dreyfus affair?
Now, remind those who may be uninformed in the chat, and totally not me, who totally knows what you're talking about, what the Dreyfus affair was.
Oh, it was a big event in which, more or less, due to anti-Semitism, a government official was accused of selling secrets to Prussia. And then even after evidence came out that he was entirely innocent, they essentially pressed forward with imprisoning him, essentially because of anti-Semitism. And there was a big old public feud on both sides, and it just kind of became a shit show.
It was just all to save face because the government fucked it up, but they didn't want to say they fucked it up. 'Cause this was like, you know, it was after some revolution or another, so the government was still like kind of shaky.
Yeah,
Right.
like the,
And so
the
it was like
Emil
they just like
Jack Hughes thing.
triple
Correct me,
dippled
Phil.
down on like, no, we did nothing wrong. They would just like shut down any internal investigations. You know, there were like a couple like rogue government and military personnel who weren't part of the conspiracy who would investigate it and tried like calling out the injustice of it. And they got shut down and mysteriously transferred to like Tunisia and shit.
What era was this circa, and how long did the cover-up go on for?
This was like,
It's the 19th century, which is when everything happens in France forever.
Yeah, late
and
19th century.
It went on
It was-
for like a decade or something.
Yeah, no, it was late 19th century, and then it was one of those cases where it's like, this was kind of the dog whistle in terms of like anti-Semitism kind of being a huge and pervasive problem that did not intersect with government really well at the time.
Right.
Also, even more fuel for my headcanon that Albedo is Jewish coded.
But because he's related to the Melusines?
Yes.
Also because of the whole alchemy thing.
Yes.
Well, cool. Thanks for getting me up to speed on that.
Yeah. Incidentally, the guy who was accused is related to the same Seinfeld actress, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
From then on,
Oh, that's right. You mentioned that the other day. Okay, now I'm
Is
connecting
he a
it.
direct descendant?
I don't think direct descendant. I think they're in the same family, but not direct descendant, I believe.
Yeah, so Carol is obviously Dreyfus and Vautrin is like, I think his name was Picard.
Huh.
Like that might be what Jean-Luc's named after. That was like the one guy who stood up to the conspiracy from within the military. You guys, the Melusines are Jewish.
I feel like it's maybe dangerous to...
No, of course it's not gonna be a one-to-one thing, but it's like,
all Melusines used to live a secluded life away from human society.
God, I would think people don't take everything we say incredibly seriously.
I mean, this is the internet. You know, there's no guarantee of anything.
I feel like there's going to be a flashback to yesterday where it's just, this is a game for babies. I'm like, I don't know if like necessarily evoking the Dreyfus affair
I granted their
outside
wishes
of like
when
an
some of them,
oblique kind
including
of
Carol, asked me to bring them to the court of Fontaine.
break-
Look
What-
at an oblique surface level.
Break, what you and I are saying are not mutually incompatible.
Many common folk believe that I share a special bond with the Melusines, and whatever they do can be traced back to me.
Everything is true. Nothing is permitted.
Some of them, especially those who hold a grudge against me, exploit that belief and stir up conflict over Melusines in an attempt to lay the blame on me. I have nothing against the opinions of others, but the moment a whirlpool of conspiracy forms, it inevitably affects the innocent.
There's not a lot of Oceanid stuff going on, I said to myself, and then I remembered the entire first part of the Archon quest. So now I'm the Genshin player with Goldfish memory. This game is for babies.
Honestly, I can imagine us like
me.
just
It has
find
already
like,
happened
you know,
once, and
we're
I
gonna
want to
get
make
the
sure it
region
does not
pan, like
happen again.
the map is gonna pan over
There's the guards,
a couple
the
of
marshals,
screens on the
Santa,
region map, and there's just
and
going
the
to be
Special
like
Security and Surveillance Patrol.
Locom or something.
Yeah.
More than enough to figure out what's going on?
Based on prior experience, there is a high chance that those who hold hostility towards me
This
do not
Genshin is both
belong
a
to
game
the
for
same
babies
department.
and Genshin is a human civilization trauma,
political system
and it
of
will
Fontaine is
oscillate between the
relatively
two
complex.
wildly at any
Involves the
given
interests
point.
of multiple different factions.
Sometimes scene to scene.
I did rewatch a little bit of the VOD, and Arlecchino baby talking Furina is so much funnier than I clocked it to be. Because, like, that's how the game writes stuff anyway. And so I was like, wow, this game and its, like, stupid infantile writing. And then I was like, oh no. No, she is clearly shading the hell out of Furina. Also, when she stops calling her Lady Furina and calls her Miss Furina, and it's like so not condescending.
However, since I am technically an
Also, to
outsider
answer
in
Speed's
Fontaine,
question,
a lot of trouble could be
yeah,
avoided if
I have
personally
not
took
been
on the
able
case.
to listen to the two OSTs sort of back to back yet, but I haven't forgotten about them either. I have them on a playlist internally over here. So if there's anything that's like really juicy about it, we'll find some venue to let you know about it. I say like I'm some kind of like soundtrack analyst, but all that to say, it sounds like it's pretty interesting, and that there might be some kind of undercurrent of the connecting civilizations. You know, given that it's all part of like the ruin
I understand
exploration
where you're
stuff.
coming
So
from.
I'm looking forward to
There is not
kind of
necessarily
unpacking
a
that.
connection between
Yeah,
my
I'm looking forward to the
responsibilities
moment where they're
and
like,
you know very well about my
the
true
notes that
identity.
what connects all
Even members
civilizations in
of my
Kavok
kind in
is
other
this, and they
nations.
play the late motif and the dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Even though I was born
Ba,
with a
ba,
human
ba,
form,
ba, ba, ba,
there is a
ba, ba,
fundamental
ba, ba.
difference between dragons and humans. Taking on the role of Chief Justice
It turns
does
out that's
not
like a
make me
pneumatic
part of this
trigger that
community.
can make
In fact,
Hilly Churls go
as soon as
berserk
I
or
was
something, and it
granted
becomes a
Yeah.
plot point.
from forming deeper
It's like the
bonds
final
with
boss
others.
of Chrono Cross. It turns out the late motif was incredibly important.
I have lived in Fontaine for a long time, but I do not belong here. That is why I call myself an outsider, a fish out of water.
Yeah, we have nothing to do with all those organizations anyway. So how about we come with you on your investigation?
Yay.
Let's team up and round up
I
all
guess
the
everyone
bad
talking
guys
about
that
the
are
future
coming up.
regions in the chat there. Yeah, I can see two more areas. I mean, we had like ultimately what, about 5 regions across all of Sumeru, starting with the jungle and then going through. There were like 3 additional desert areas.
Yeah.
And that was in place of like sort of the extra
That does not sound
Inazuma
like a bad
Islands,
idea.
the Chasm, and
I rarely
Konomiya the
investigate cases on
previous
my
year.
own,
So
but with
yeah, like
professionals like you around,
3 to
sure it will go a lot smoother.
2 to 3 more regions, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like, given that you can kind of see the entire Fontenoise plateau from various sort of
I will write
higher
my
up
note of
locations, I
absence
actually
right
wonder
away.
if they're really going
Let
to
us
commit
depart together
to
once I'm done.
just finishing the plateau and then kind of curving back towards Liyue again. Or,
I think so
actually think
too,
that-
because I think they're always going to want some unclaimed space just in case development goes one way or another.
Yeah, I actually
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if they left a part of the plateau unfinished.
yeah, unexplored, yeah.
Yeah, and then
Or-
they like
Let's go.
went towards
We should visit
Liyue and
Kiara first and
Mondstadt
try
as
to
the
gain
way
a
of
better
rounding out
understanding
like
of the
this year,
situation.
rather than like fully finishing out all of the areas in Fontaine.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so they have like a place to go in Fontaine when Genshin Impact Part 2 debuts in, at the current rate we're going, what, like 2030 or something?
Yep.
So Neuvillette feels like he doesn't truly belong here in Fontaine, but is that really true?
Another unnecessary Paimon dialogue line.
Paimon feels like he has a kinda skewed perspective.
The remains of the past days.
You called yourself a fish out of water, right? But since you're the Hydro Dragon, would a dragon out of water suit you better?
Thank you for your
I like that this is the walk and talk.
Consider using the more
I hate
People,
that this is the
please
walk
don't
and
mention
talk.
this. Please don't mention
please allow
this
me
to
to
anybody.
rephrase.
Like, meanwhile, all throughout Neuvillette's office. So, should
Yeah.
you call yourself a dragon?
That sounds kind of weird. Let's stick with the previous version instead.
Although I do wish, like, we've had walk and talks with the character. Grandpa's just trying to make sense in a world full of Zoomers. But like I said, unlike Zhongli, this Grandpa Dragon doesn't waste our time with bourgeoisie parasite shit, so I am even more amiable to him.
Hey, that reminds me, didn't you say you were going to open this stream rolling for him?
You know, I figured I would pick up Primos along the way, so I'll probably roll.
Okay, and then just get a little collection by the end, yeah.
I feel like they have to do Chenyu Vale. It'll probably be early next year for Lantern Rite.
I can imagine them debuting a whole new region for Lantern, right?
Because they've talked
They always
about
put a
they've
little
talked about
extra
Chenyu
oomph in
Vale
Lantern Rite.
forever, and they definitely intended that to be another way in to
The
Fontaine.
weather's amazing today.
Look at these little slug kids.
Kiara.
Mr. Neuvillette! And you are? Oh, I remember. You're the Traveler and Paimon. I've heard about you.
Hello, cop slug.
Aw, she's adorable! Hey there, it's nice to meet you. Thanks for the compliment. Is there anything I can do for you?
I heard from Sidine that you received a threatening letter.
A threatening letter? Oh, right! I remember now. The letter fell through the crack in my door as I was heading out this morning. It said something about catching me, so I thought someone wanted to play hide and seek. But Sidine told me it was a threatening letter, and that I could be in danger. But that's not gonna happen with everyone looking after me, right?
God, I love how the Melusines like talk and gesture like Mickey Mouse. They are so funny.
Have you run into any suspicious
They're
looking
little
people
mascot suits.
Yeah. Little police station mascots.
Suspicious looking people? What counts
Yeah,
as suspicious?
you're all, what was the badger's name from Phoenix Wright?
Ah!
The Blue
The Blue
Badger.
Yeah, the blue badger.
Yeah.
Oh,
Did you think of something? Nope. I don't remember meeting anyone like that.
Do you still have the letter with you? I want you to show me what it says.
Oh, let's see.
Hold on a
Found it.
moment.
Now then, get lost. If you don't leave the Maréchaussée Phantom, I will come and catch you in person. Don't say I didn't warn you.
I love the twisted level cutesy shit. Seguin was very fun.
A simple threat. Neither the handwriting nor the content itself reveals anything about the writer's intentions.
Yeah! I love the Melusines.
We
I'm
can't
very
rule out
excited.
that possibility.
If you go to the opera house and read the bulletin board there, it talks about how there's like an all Melusine choir who comes in and sings odes to Elinus and Neuvillette.
That's
And-
cool.
And then underneath that is like an anonymous scrawl that says, "Isn't it blasphemy to not also sing about the Hydro Archon?" And they're like, "Addendum. The performance will also contain the full version of Ode to Furina. Guests are not allowed to leave the venue until the opera is over."
That tells me that Ode to Furina was written by Furina.
Yeah.
To review some official
It's so good.
Kiara, you should come with us. It's safer.
After sequel, I can't take any of this cutesy shit at face value anymore. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. The Melusine are little abyss goblins.
Yeah. Like, did anyone get what we meant when we said they're the things at the end of Shin Godzilla?
Wait, no. I still have a case to work on.
15-hour
I
opera.
promised Alof that I'd check on her place later.
Oh my god.
But you are being watched right now. Going off on your own could be dangerous.
And that's where we come in to help. We'll stay with Kiara and make sure she's safe. With us around, anyone scheming to hurt Kiara can forget about it.
I love this.
Thank you, Traveler.
Even if they are
What's this
just like
I'm on?
blobs of cells from Elinus given slug girl form.
All right, let us go our separate ways for now.
We'll take her to Olaf's place right away. See you around.
No, the Melusine are great.
Kiara?
But I am really a big fan of just the undercurrent of them, like,
1, 2,
you know, just having an affinity overall for, like, weird abyss magic and crap.
Yeah, in like cute, approachable, mascot-friendly
Been a
forms.
long time ago.
Like, just that first quest with Mom Mare where she's like, "It's one of my shortcuts," and it's like a red glowing hell portal. It's like, Mare, is this okay to jump into?
My memory
She's like,
isn't
"Yeah, I
that
used to see it
good.
around all the time."
Carol told me I could address
And finding out that,
others
like,
based on how I
those-
feel about them.
Those rock orb
Paimon feels
enemies
a
are
lot more
basically like
grown up than
Elinus's
me,
white
so
blood cells
you're a
that are
big
there to
sis.
kill foreign bodies, and she's like, "Yeah, they're fine."
Yeah, Osmosis Jones.
Osmosis
Traveler,
Jones.
did you hear that?
I really want to know why Elinus has Inazuman ships in his belly. So he's been out that way, and that's very exciting.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Elinus jumping like the 50 meters he would need to go from like the
Paimon felt like
seafloor
someone was
at the
following us.
regular Teyvat level all the way up to Fontaine?
Oh, I want to see that.
Olaf!
There'd be some good environmental storytelling, just seeing like where Blood dragged his stomach like while climbing up there.
Because you know Melusines feel like those like mochi squish toys.
Kiara, you're here. Huh?
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, aren't these two?
They're just mollusks.
They're fully invertebrates, so when you hug them, they just kind of bulge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Elinus has eaten a town before and didn't think anything about it until later on.
Oh my god, their heads and hands get larger when you hug them.
They're feelers too. They just go like, "Er."
I thought so.
God.
What brings you here? All right. Guess I shouldn't.
Now I want to
ask.
see them be
Like, I
yeah,
feel
we
like
won't come-
this is really morbid, but I feel like if you cut one's arm off, the cross section would be just like the inside of an eraser. It's just like a solid core of rubber.
May I begin inspecting the store as planned?
My thought is that,
I'm
like,
okay.
Of course. Go ahead.
okay, wait. Since they're invertebrates, like, that means that, like, a comfortable place for them to sleep would be, like, inside a bucket or a jar or something.
They like it moist.
They just
No
wedge
hazards
themselves into,
detected.
like, a small,
You've
moist
cleared the
crevasse.
inspection. Seems like the criminal from that
And when
case
you lift
last
up the
month
rock,
never
they go
set
like,
foot in here
"Ugh,"
at
and they
all.
retract their feelers and like, oh, what the fuck?
They should have done that one. I'm not going to say this that often, but they should have done that one as like one of the black text screens, because she is literally just looking from the outside of the store without setting foot inside of it.
Oh, Spickle gets it. Spickle gets it. The severed hand morphs into another tiny
Take a look at
melon.
her.
Yeah, that's how
Melusines have
that's how they
special eyes that can see
subdivide.
things people can't.
One of the things about Melusines is that if you don't seal your doors properly, they can just fit beneath the door. Like cats, they can just crawl underneath it.
Have you got those big banana slugs that live in like Santa Cruz?
Things like bloodstains. No matter how hard you try to clean them up, we Melusines can see their residual stains for some time. Pretty cool, huh?
Can you also see through walls?
Now that you're done inspecting, can we have a chat? Hear me out. I'm planning to release an outfit for
You
children
canonically
next
have to
month,
use children's
and
clothes
wanted to
and
hire you
furniture.
as my model.
Which
Is
is
that
like
okay with
fucked up
you?
because they've been part of the culture for centuries, and like you can make tiny adult slug people clothes. Although I guess that's
This is always something.
that's the point of discrimination, I guess.
Of course. Is there anything
This
I
is
can
always
do?
something I wondered about in this setting, where it's like, okay, what if there was like
Please
just
wait a
like
moment while I take
a
your
race of
measurements.
thing that was
This
just
sample should
patently
be a
cuter
perfect
than
fit.
everything else, but it's like, you know, the big cultural push is, hey, we demand to be taken seriously at any level. Please
I mean,
stop giving us your like kids Gap clothing.
What do you
That's actually a plot point in a couple of fantasy things where halflings exist. Is like,
Oh, really? That's a halfling problem?
Is there really
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
watching us?
I was
Oh,
gonna
that's
ask,
interesting.
like, I
Let's sneak
bet
over and take a
14
look.
has done something with Lalafell.
I think they have. I think Rad would probably know better than I would, but
Yeah.
I think
I mean, after what point does like children's clothes just become Melusine clothes? Because the Melusine are going to use it for longer.
That's a good point. I think it's just water
I
resistance.
love them too.
Like kids grab at things really quickly.
Look how
Melusine,
cute
like,
she I usually, like, I don't really jam with, like, the little anthro child girl designs. For some reason, these, like, slug things are so charming to me. I think it's because, like, I'm an older woman now and I find things cute. I'm gonna start...
Possibly because like
You're
they're in
start
points of
getting, like-
authority.
Why isn't he
I'm like,
back
well,
yet?
Charlotte, have you been fucking spying on us? I saw that camera go off earlier. What is this paparazzo shit?
For real. Charlotte's introduction in the last leg of the AQ was, like, so extraneous.
Gotcha!
She just, like, instinctively punches Paimon in the nose and runs away.
Charlotte, what are you doing here?
Like you said, she could have such a fun hangout event. Just goofy ass gonzo journalism.
Oh wait, don't tell Paimon you're the one who sent Kiara that
Fear and
threatening letter.
loathing in Fontaine.
Threat letter? What threat letter? This is starting
Like, I'm
to feel
sure it
like
is
an
a
interrogation.
cutthroat
Okay, I'll be
industry.
straight with you. I don't know the slightest thing about that threat letter you mentioned. I only wanted to follow Monsieur Neuvillette and request an interview with him.
My favorite Neuvillette moment is still, like, when we meet him in the theater, and Paimon's like, "Are you one of Lenny's friends?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm not, but if he wanted me to be, I would happily do so." That was so cute.
You
Yeah, that's what I was like. Oh,
That's
this guy's
so,
not
like-
going to be like the stern judge. He's just going to be a.
That's so, like,
He's
old
just gonna be
man
another-
feeding pigeons in the park.
That's
Like,
right. I'm not the only one, you know.
He's just going to be another big lizard who's out of his element. A little literally.
he's just like, "Oh, maybe we could be friends." Licks eyeball.
But it's not an easy task to accomplish. The Palais Mermonia rarely accepts appointment requests from us.
I
and
like
we
my
never have a
grandpa.
chance to interrupt when the court's in session. So we
New
managed to
grandpa
have
better
surprise
than the
I
old
was seeing him
grandpa.
on the streets today.
I find Charlotte's place in this game fascinating because the thing is that she's more of an incidental cameo in Fontaine, just kind of popping up because that's her
Of
job
course,
to
I'll
be a
make sure to turn
reporter.
in my manuscript to him for review.
But if you know you did play like kind of the world trotting TCG event, you've already had that team up with her, and the
Yeah, we're doing
sort of
a
extremes of those two where it's like being out with her on like in an assignment versus like running into her is so different between her
Grandpa!
introduction and then her actual like permanent role in Fontaine.
Grandpa would be his partner Pokemon.
I see. Well, if you say so, I guess I'll put this
It
matter
really,
aside for
like,
now.
Again,
What a
I
shame.
tie probably way too
Chances
many
like this
things
don't come
to
by very
Toho, but
often,
it
you
really
know?
reminds me of like the utility of Aya, because having like a news photographer who just kind of flits around is always a good like framing device that you can use. It's just like someone who kind of comes in and out, bugs the protagonists, lets them know about scoops.
In exchange, could you tell me what the threat letter is about? I swear I won't tell.
This
I
is actually kind of what I thought Yanfei was gonna be after her appearance in Moonchase when she MCs the competition. I was like, oh, like she just kind of does odd public-facing jobs in the UA, and then we never saw her again. So,
I mean,
But can't you tell that she's just Yanfei again, only French now? Look
Yeah.
at them, they're practically twins.
they are exactly the same.
I mean, the Yanfei also has the dishonor of being introduced after the Archon quest is
Targeting a cute
over.
little
Like,
Melusine.
any character introduced post-Archon quest is like, enjoy seeing them in events and then never again.
Yep.
It just so happens that I did an interview with Kiara. Last month, in fact. It was well received by our readers, so I was planning to continue the series. And now someone's coming after her.
The hate.
Oh, Charlotte, that's probably how they found
Who
out.
knows? We
Yeah.
might find something. And don't worry, I know what I'm doing. This secret's safe with me.
But yeah, I like a playable character who's also like a recurring NPC that we run into at work all the time.
But I gotta warn you, even if I keep my lips sealed, others
Just something
will
that
know
we've been kind of
eventually.
begging for is like, we know they want these characters to feel like they are living in the world and like having their own lives, and let's like see them more then,
Why?
like especially in their own workplaces.
People care a great deal about Monsieur Neuvillette's each and every move. Some may have already realized that something was up. Besides, the case involves Melusines. So, anyway, I'll get going now. What?
Well, that was a nice chat. Let's head back and check on Kiara.
Oh shit!
Oh, hello. Hello, you.
What do you think?
I still don't know what to feel about Clarand.
I think it's
Nah, I'm sticking by my analysis from last night.
Oh, I forgot about your analysis. Yeah, you're right. There's
Like,
always,
she's just
there's
going to
always
be
gotta
this, like-
be someone who embodies the culture, and like she is the French woman's French
Huh.
woman.
It's very
Exactly,
pretty
yeah.
indeed.
But she's also really, like, upright and heroic. It's just that, you know, like, because of the ennui.
Yeah.
Because of the ennui, she's always going to have a certain disposition.
She's professional, but she is French.
Which means that she's sad and has a lot of sex.
And smokes a lot.
And
walks
smokes a lot, but they're not going to show that.
Exactly.
It seems that you just showed up.
Wasn't
out of nowhere.
Risley's Japanese VA Jotaro Kujo?
Yada, yada.
As I passed by the Palais Mermonia,
I'm gonna look that up real
I
quick
heard that
because
Neuvillette was
just fast
investigating a
forwarding
case
to me
with you.
actually doing the joke.
That fits.
You can read that as the JP version of her just like going to get cigarettes from him.
Oh yeah, exactly. No, it's kind of like how like Rosaria and Kaya are like the two delinquents that bum around together, and she and Risley are like just the two extremely French people.
Technically speaking, he and I are under an employer-employee relationship. It didn't feel right to have my employer personally take on such trivial cases. I happened to have some time at the moment, and came to take a look. I sometimes have my clothes custom-made.
Yes, I
Of
just
course
feel
you
that
have
like
your clothes
So we always have a
custom
lot
made.
to talk
Of
about.
course you don't fit into an off-the-shelf shit. If they're custom
speaking
made,
of on the nose things.
if they're custom made, why doesn't your shirt fit you?
She's like, no, this is intentional.
This is the power move.
Oh, Neuvillette sure is lucky to have someone like you.
Leave this to me. You should go meet up with
She
Neuvillette.
has, as you might call it, la condition fontenoise.
Okay then, we'll leave Kiara in your hands. Come on, let's go find Neuvillette.
I think she likes it because it just makes people nervous around her. Yeah, exactly.
How has your work been recently?
It's like you walk into the room holding like a grenade pin, and then everyone just kind of sweats.
Same as usual. My schedule normally isn't too packed, so I have plenty of time for myself.
Ooh, then shall we go out to play? How about a beach vacation, like
Oh.
last time?
Oh,
Aw.
they hang out together. They go to the south. They go to Cannes.
I've even signed up as a volunteer lifeguard. I'm really good at swimming, so I'm sure I can help.
That's so cute. I mean, she's in good
Florent,
hands.
how's your work going? Oh, you know, I have once again killed the father of one of my lovers.
One of my paramours.
Beach episode with Chlorhand. Hello, calm down, not yet.
Down, Spickle, down.
We gotta get to June again, or whenever they do the summer events.
You know she's gonna wear stilettos on the beach like a freak. That's the
That's
crazy, thing about
yeah, I was gonna
Linny.
say, yeah, Lynette, just
And
like
Lynette, yeah.
the fact that Lynette, like the one character who is kind of justified in wearing heels, is like has like regular boots.
Yeah, let's see where I put her. She has flats. Like, no one has flats in the, or not flats, like, they're big wedges, but they're chunky. They're solid. No girl has, like, sensible-ish heels like this. These are combat boots. Like, this is what Beto should have had. Beto should have switched boots.
And yet it's Lynette whose job is to be a magician on stage.
Yeah, the one who
Like,
should be going...
the one character.
the Zatanna ass, like, stilettos. Literally kitten heels. It would have been perfect.
No, don't say Zatanna. I could hear Paul Dini like
Shut up.
crawling into the game.
Like, okay, armored fucking domestic worker. Stilettis. Stage magician. Big stomping boots. Big stomping boots.
Oh, you're back. Is everything all right?
We ran into Cloran. She offered to help
Beto's
us
stilettos
protect
really
Yara.
kill me. It's like those are gonna get caught between the timbers of your ship. It's insane. Like, have a fatter heel.
That is good to hear. I trust her abilities.
Yeah, unless
Looks
you're like
Kiara is in good hands.
doing combat maneuvers like Raiden. No, not that one. You know,
Yeah.
I don't believe you.
I want to see Raiden Metal Gear Rising on the beach in his heels. Just like trips on the sand. He's like, shit, Colonel!
Do you think he makes Fulgurite when he runs?
Well, did you find any leads?
Heels on the beach is canon. Jean's summer skin has heels too. Yeah,
Yeah.
Candace has heels and she lives in the desert. What's wrong with people?
I've been looking over the case records, specifically inspection reports submitted by Kiara and major cases I've judged over the past decade.
One of the funniest little details in Nier Automata is if you're running as 2B and you go from concrete to sand, you trip.
I've come
You
up
kind of
with two
stumble
plans.
as you like
On one hand,
get
I
onto
could
the
start
sand.
with Kiara and track down the group behind all this.
I never
step by
noticed that.
step.
That's cool though.
It's really good.
On the
Julie, I
other,
believe, can
I
like
could
fight in
also
heels
analyze
because
the
she's like a
conflicting
precise
interests of these
combat
major
android. I'm
cases
like,
and confirm my suspicions
there's
if there is
pneumatic
indeed a
diagnostics in there
mysterious
that,
group
you know.
bears a grudge
And even she
against me.
trips on sand.
They both sound like pretty solid plans, but can you really finish browsing through all these documents?
Don't worry. I'm a fast reader when it comes to official documents. After all, I have several hundred years of reviewing under my belt.
We'll help you read through them. We have nothing else to do.
I can't think of anything worse than like coming to someone with an extremely like skill and experience requiring job and being like, we'll help the best we can. No.
Thank you. I will continue.
I mean,
looking through the
Neuvillette can
ones piled up on
probably
the desk, but feel free to
speed
browse
read.
through anything else
yeah.
in this room.
It does make me kind of like wonder like what the limit of human skill is that we're not reaching because of our limited lifespans. I should put my brain in a robot body, is what I'm saying.
I mean, if there's any region to do it in, it is the region of C-Lab.
Woo.
See, like, we haven't used that yet.
Oh my god.
Fontaine Research Institute with C-Lab 2020.
Ah.
It blew up just like in C-Lab.
We referenced Harvey Birdman before we referenced C-Lab in the C region. Oh. But what was this crime? Oh, here we go. Oh, that's it.
I wonder if that book was already there before.
These are separate cases, though, King Alex. So, and the bribery was in the police force. I don't think it said anything about his occupation. It's just like he will be sent to the prison.
Have you made any progress?
We skipped through some of them, but there wasn't anything useful. Oh, there's so many documents lying around.
Not gonna
would
lie,
love
I
to
would
answer
not
that
trust
question, but the
Paimon to
truth
do any
is
sort of
I've
lawyering.
never made a precise calculation
Oh, yeah.
myself.
I mean, I know she technically has already, but like, if it comes to like document reviews, I'm like, ugh.
I can count on her to wear the Poirot mustache and float around pretending to solve crimes.
If memory serves me right,
That's
there
about
should
it.
be at least
But here Detective Paimon's on the case, I'm like, please let me defend myself
the
in court.
documents you see are just a small fraction of what's really there.
Your Honor, this thing doesn't speak for me.
Whoa. That's
I mean, it literally
lot.
does, but
Looks like
not
the
in
work
this
of a
case.
Chief Justice isn't easy at all.
That might be how it seems from another's perspective, but trials and official duties are, to me, simply routine. There are many documents here. Take a break if you are tired.
You read Paimon's mind.
All right, let us take a break then.
this is him trying to get us to stop interfering.
You know what could really help me is if you go outside and find the shiniest rock and bring it back here in about 2 hours' time.
Yes. Find me the tail of a green Fontaine seahorse.
Why they're right over that ridge there? Just go and have a look. You might have to look for a little while. Be back before supper.
Even though resting is a part of taking a break, shouldn't we at least talk about something?
We talked to some of the fishermen. They said the green ones don't exist. Not so sure about that. Go back and look.
All the silence is making Paimon feel really awkward.
Please pardon my lack of consideration.
Take $10 and buy yourself a Nintendo.
Literally.
Work.
We're the ones
To
who
be
came in
quite
here, and
honest, I
Paimon's
am
like,
not
I'm
sure what we should
bored.
do. Would you like to have some
We're trying to
drinks,
solve a hate
perhaps?
crime.
You must be thirsty after all that work.
The Melusines are so funny.
Ooh, drinks! Thank you!
Yeah, drinks. It's gonna be water.
Paimon wonders what Neuvillette likes to drink. Oh, maybe he seems like the type of person who'd own an entire winery.
Sorry, Paimon, the meme is already out there. We already know.
water.
Yum yum.
An astute observation.
Let them cook.
It is indeed
Mhm.
water.
Aranara style.
Exactly.
So it's just plain old water?
Let him drink his LaCroix.
What did you think it was?
Since you're the Chief Justice and all, Paimon thought you'd prefer something more sophisticated.
You barge into this man's office, make a mess of his papers, distract him, and now we insult his taste.
This water is indeed very special. It would not be an overstatement to call it sophisticated.
I feel like you should be able to take context clues where it's like, yeah, you're the primordial water dragon. It's like, of course you're gonna like water. Of course you're gonna be able to tell the differences in
you've
water.
already tried Fonta. In fact, there
No.
are many other drink
We
factories
can't
in
have
Fontaine,
context clues,
including
not
those
in the
that
baby
specialize
game
in
for
packaging
babies.
pure drinking water.
They could even have Paimon give a line about it where she's like, oh, since he's the water dragon of water, this must be, there must be, you must have a really refined palate for water. You know, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. I want to go out to Zhongli and like ask him if he has a rock, like, cellar.
I mean, you remember
Which-
Zhongli had that scene with the rock cellar.
No, I mean like a wine cellar. It's like, sir, which rocks taste the best in Tibet? Which ones have the good terroir? What's the vintage? I just like look at you with like a smile on his mouth and disappointment in his eyes.
Here is one of their latest products. Water from Sumeru's Apam Woods.
Oh, damn, all the way from Apam Woods.
Woo!
You guys should be connoisseurs of this by now.
Anyone who thinks water all tastes the same hasn't been to SoCal.
If I were to comment on their mouthfeel, the waters of Cider Lake warm the heart. The waters of Chinsa Village have a poignant touch, while one might call the waters of Konda Village...
I really wouldn't drink that water from Chinsa Village. I've seen what goes on there. I am what goes on there occasionally.
There's a pretty substantial amount of my blood in that lake.
Look, we have Fight Club in there. There's like a non-insignificant chance you've drinking some of me.
There's a refugee from your country there, and she turns into many animals and beats me up.
And it's the worst boss fight. At least of 1.0.
Distinct differences exist between the waters.
No
of
joke,
each
back
area.
before I had a primary
You will
DPS,
appreciate
like,
their intricacies
one of the
once
reasons
you
I did
taste
not
them
roll for
carefully.
Child was because it's like, I'm gonna have to go and fight the Oceanid another 40 times, and I can't. I don't have it in me anymore.
Yeah, I...
Between
Never.
Mona, Barbara, Xingqiu, it's like, I don't want to do this again.
yeah.
What do you think?
Nope. Paimon couldn't taste any difference at all. Isn't this just normal water?
Zhongli definitely eats rocks. Ganyu and Yanfei lick them, but only if they have high sodium content.
How regrettable. It seems like you still have a long way to go in refining your tastes.
Hey, this doesn't have to do with
Yeah, if you have
refining
Ganyu
taste.
fighting the Oceanid, it's not bad. I really had no good response to her until I got Ningguang and could make, like, hydro shields, and even then it still took a while to get through it because there's just so long where she's not fightable.
We are allowed to bring that up, right? Oh, Paimon's been wanting
That
to ask
adds
this
up
for
over time.
ages.
Mhm.
If you're the Hydro Dragon, why would you become Chief Justice in human society? Sorry, Paimon was just curious. You don't have to answer.
There's nothing to hide. I was simply organizing my thoughts. I accepted this position because I wanted to seek out answers to questions that have perplexed me.
Yeah, no, Paimon is indiscriminate with the food that she puts in her body.
Questions?
She is a black
Are there
hole.
things you can't figure out?
Many.
If you guys are familiar with Full
The
Metal
one
Alchemist,
question that
I think
puzzles
she
me
has
the
like an
most
Edward
concerns
Elric
my
thing where
own
she's like kind of like
existence.
eating for wherever her real body is or something. Like building up that energy.
Yeah.
In essence,
Yeah.
I neither know why
I think
was
Child
born
has a
in
similar
this
thing.
form,
He's,
nor
being for
do I
two.
understand where my
It's
long
true.
life should take me. I lost many memories from the moment I was born. The primordial sea, for example. I can only vaguely recall its connection to
Here we
me,
go. Is
but
the
I am
good stuff.
unaware of what that connection is exactly. Perhaps the elemental dragons of other nations may have some form of an answer. However, they are scattered across all of Teyvat. Abruptly visiting could very well pose an unpredictable risk.
True. Some of them have very unique personalities, too.
I have been holding on to these unanswered questions for a long time. But there is one thing I've discovered along the way. My emotions easily resonate with those of others. Even I don't have the slightest idea what they mean.
So, primordial sea and dragons are very like that's the Enuma Elish. Like that's one of the early creation myths, is the notion that the world was formed out of the waters of like chaos or a lack of form. And in the case of the ancient Babylonians, they believed that that was kind of presided over by this dragon goddess of the ocean. And Genshin's always kind of like hinted at the same thing of like linking the earliest parts of creation with primordial water and with dragons. That, and I don't remember if Tiamat's corpse becomes the world. There's a lot of like world creation myths like that where it's like some huge primordial being that is slain by like the first god, and then their body turns into the land, the blood becomes the rivers, yada yada. Sure, you might know. Is that the case with Tiamat?
Tiamat, I don't remember. I know it's the case with the Emir from Norse mythology.
Yeah.
My
check
guess
real
would
quick.
be that there are at least some similarities between humans and
I know
myself.
that Tiamat is associated
By
with
observing their
primordial
behavior,
water.
perhaps I could one day understand the meaning of my existence.
Don't remember if she bit the big one.
I thought Marduk did her in. It's been a minute.
Have you made any progress then?
Perhaps, but I find such progress difficult to describe. As an outsider, chances to engage in meaningful
Oh
interactions
yeah,
with
here's something
others
you
are
like. Her
few
mate
and
was
far between.
Abzu.
Oh yes, because that's the water.
That's why I'm quite thankful for this chat.
Yeah, she's a symbol of
Such
chaos in the
opportunities are
primordial
rare.
ocean.
Are we gonna continue reading these documents? Paimon's getting dizzy already.
I wasn't able to find any leads even after browsing through most of the documents.
Yeah, Marduk kills
But
her.
while we were on the topic of water a moment ago,
But not before she can give
another
birth to a
idea
bunch of
came to me.
monstrosities.
Let's go.
You gotta love big primordial super monsters.
Yeah, so maybe that's kind
Yeah.
of like what Nibelung is, the big dragon king that Apep mentioned. Like he might be like a Tiamat role, and that he's the originator of the other dragons.
That's right. The Fountain of Lucine is where all of Fontaine's waters converge. It is the vessel of countless memories and emotions. If there really were an organization attempting to use Melusines against me, they should also hold an intense resentment towards me. Perhaps we'll be able to find some new leads by sensing the hydro element within the fountain.
Huh. Why didn't Paimon think of that?
Perhaps we should go. There shouldn't be too many people near the Fountain of Lucine during the evening.
Yeah, fountain gossip. All right, let's read the Risley one again. No word about what he did.
Makes me wonder. I wonder if they're going to address that in the Archon quest or just his character quest.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Only reason I think it could potentially be the Archon quest is if it was part of, like, something related to the work getting the ship
Monsieur
built or
Neuvillette.
something, where it's going to tie into the main plot, or if it is just a character thing.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't disturb them.
Looks like we got lucky today. There's hardly anyone around.
What should we do next? Traveler, can you still hear the voices from the fountain?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Primordial Sea and the Abyss is, like, if not one and the same, very closely linked. Like, there's the Varuna contraption in Upon Woods that looks like it's just a hole going into the Primordial Sea.
We're seeing a lot of, like, bad element equivalents that are always Abyss related. Like,
There's no
What was
juice
the,
everywhere.
well, we got, like, the Mari Javari. We got, like, the Chasm as a whole with, like, the Gleep juice. Its own flavor of no juice.
Yeah.
Got the
Perhaps leave
Withering,
the
got the
investigation to
Primordial
me.
Sea.
I need
The only
you
thing I
to take
can't
a
really
few
think of
steps
is if there
back
was
and
ever,
keep a
like,
safe
sort of
distance.
bad Eternity or bad Lightning.
Well, there was Enka no Miya, which was, like, bad shit.
A safe distance?
yeah, but that was, like,
Also,
that was really...
Inazuma's distinguished by being on, like, the vanguard of the Abyss, basically. Or, like, everything outside of the continent is just crazy chaos and monsters. And they say, like, monsters came and schwacked Inazuma all the time.
Yeah, I guess there were all sorts of kaiju coming in there for A to kill.
Mm-hmm. Which is cool because it's like that's why her title is Shogun and not Emperor. Like she is there in a martial capacity, and that's why she could kind of skate for so long, only being good at killing things because that was actually a huge part of her job.
Yeah, Child has been jobbed and now utterly damseled. It's our destiny to go and rescue him from his untimely doom at the
God.
hands of the whale.
Every time Griffin Burns asks for a song request, I always beg for I need a hero. Or I'm holding out for a hero. Yeah, he hasn't done it yet. But if anything, if this podcast ever has any kind of legacy, please let it be that our fans convince Griffin Burns to sing I'm holding on for a hero. Because that's what he's singing as he's waiting for us to come get him and bring him home. I miss him.
Child earns higher priority after doing worse stuff in front of the Traveler than Linny, who's like, yeah, but I'm innocent this time. This is cool.
This is cool.
Oh, the
Wow.
place isn't built.
Oh! Good point. Is there a map? No, can't go.
See if you
to
can
the map.
access it. Oh, is it not even letting you pause at this point?
Yeah, can't do it.
Oh, yeah.
I bet if I try to leave, I will get the ether boundary line. Like in
That's interesting.
in Kari Bear. Oh no, it's not West. That was such a jump scare. If you try to run out of bounds of the story area in the flashback of Kari Bear, your traveler speaks, like, vocally, and is like, I probably shouldn't go that way. That's the reality we could have had. If it weren't for Paimon. It's cool, the fountain's off.
It's interesting that all of this
This is the
was
best
built
black and white
before-
filter they've had so far. It's actually looks like contemporary photography.
Yo, Beefy, I'm playing this on my side over here.
Mhm.
Are you able to get into the church?
A church?
Yeah, just run up against that wall over there and see if you can get into the church.
Is this a Dark Souls thing?
Oh, no, it's the near thing.
Oh, fuck! Oh my god. I'm a fake Nier fan.
Oh, okay, no. It's not that it wasn't built. It's just we were in a completely different location.
Yeah, we were uphill from it.
Okay. That would have been crazy if they just had that one tiny detail that like it hadn't been built yet. They must make you walk over in this direction, given that they built all of this out. Yeah.
Yes, a world where Zack actually gets lines.
Yeah.
But he was so well put to use in the Archon quest when we had him puke. We're still very much, I think, in the early stages, Yumemi. Although we really like the premise so far, and we also just love the Melusines, so anything with that is a plus. Ooh, there's a bunch of tiny details in this. Yeah. Yeah, I noticed it couldn't interact with the waypoint.
This is a great black and white filter.
Yeah, right?
It's crazy that like just the limitations with film and camera created black and white as a shorthand for in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be like if
I don't know if this is true, but didn't people used to dream in black and white because so much of the media was monochrome that it's just kind of how their brains created like scenes?
I just Snopes that because like I've heard that and I'm like that can't possibly be true, right? But
yeah.
I have heard that.
I would like to know, like just the way things fade out in the distance is very much like that kind of like exposure photography of the time, and you can see the sky has a much more like sepia saturated tint. This is like, it's so comfy. It's like I feel like I'm in a museum looking at this kind of old photography, which I love to look at. It actually might be kind of good for if I do end up doing like all the visual art history and references in Fontaine. Yeah, I think the waypoint description too is like only the traveler can use these. Only they kind of know what they are.
Thank you for bringing us here, Monsieur Neuvillette.
Oh no,
The court of
I'm gonna be
Fontaine
sad.
is truly incredible. There's so many things I've never seen or heard before.
I understand your excitement, but there's no need to thank me. Although I have responded to your wishes, it was not without personal interest. Melusine's special sight make them especially suited for joining the Maréchaussée Phantom. I'm certain you'll become an indispensable
It's so funny when you
part of
go
Fontaine's
to
detective force.
Melusine Village and all the Melusines are just wearing these like gray rags, and I think it's because like they are beautiful to them in their visible light range, but not to us.
I know,
Huh.
but I'm really glad to be of help.
Like every Melusine in like an outfit that is cute to us has been dressed by some aspect of human society.
Not only can I repay you for your kindness, but also, it feels like my life has become a lot more meaningful.
But a meaningful life also comes with its risks.
It's definitely the safest to just stay in the village, but I want to see the outside world nonetheless. In truth, I've never really understood the purpose of my existence, or what I'm capable of contributing to this world. For almost 20 years, we've stayed in our village without finding any answers. That's why we wanted to leave our village and look for the meaning of our existence elsewhere.
Yeah, so they
So I'm
popped
finding
up
some-
400 years ago, I think.
Oh, 400, huh?
Yeah, we're starting to see 400 a little more.
Oh no, they're constructing the anime timeline.
I think Scaramouche is 400. Like, I think it's like
Scaramouche was 500, I thought. I thought Scaramouche was lumped in with the, like, usual 500.
Or, like, there was some big event in his life that was 400. It might have been the Raiden Gokaden incident.
I understand your confusion.
I'm finding
fact,
some
I feel the
articles
same
supporting
way.
the dreaming in black and white thing, but I'm not seeing any, like, real solid citations.
Yeah, I guess there's no way to tell. And even people who experienced it probably don't even remember that well.
I too came here for
Because these
an
are all
answer to my questions
self-reported,
about
so,
my
you
own
know, it's
existence.
like...
Yeah.
Really? Could you tell us what we should do to fit in as you did? The truth is, many people threw rocks at us today and told us to go back to our village. It hurt a lot when they hit me in the head. And I tried really hard not to cry.
Yeah, you're right, Kitsune Kira. It was the Tatarasuna incident. We are slowly starting to pin down like other events that marked history aside from the Cataclysm.
Logically speaking, both time and effort are essential when different species attempt to peacefully coexist. It will be a difficult road ahead, with different identities and ways of thinking all contribute to strengthening the barrier between one another. Removing it will be no easy feat. There aren't many suggestions I can share, because just like you, I haven't fully integrated into this society. Despite my social status, I am still an outsider.
Oh, I see. Let's all do our best then. I'm confident that we'll find the meaning of our existence one day.
I believe in you, but you shouldn't lose sight of the difficulties ahead. If you run into any trouble, I suggest that you inform Vautrin, the captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol.
Huh? Is he the person I met in the
I didn't
Valley
want to
Ammonia
see this
earlier?
part. I'm gonna be so sad.
Yes. Do you have any
Yeah.
concerns?
That stone-faced human. He didn't even bother to look at me when I tried talking to him. It felt like he wasn't interested in anything but work.
He is an earnest man. There will be plenty of opportunities to work together in the future, so please try to get along.
Oh boy, it's like a Disneyland ride, only we're gonna be sad and miserable.
Yay! We get to see injustice and bigotry.
Real-time extreme injustice.
The Shade Chamber hot take. Fontaine does deserve to get flooded.
Hello. Can I help with anything?
Thanks, but no need.
Oh,
This is further down the history. She has her little
There's a
uniform
little
now.
coat, yeah.
hello. I'm Carol, a Melusine. Is there anything you need help with?
Get away from here! I'm calling the guards.
Bruh.
Please, calm down. I don't mean to cause any harm.
Hard to say.
Yeah, we should probably stay away from these monsters. Haven't you realized? Strange incidents have been increasing ever since they came.
Why should we trust this species from who knows where anyway? I can't believe Neuvillette allowed them into the court of Fontaine just
Neuvillette?
like that.
Neuvillette!
Neuvillette.
Oh, I love her flapper hair, though.
Exactly. That so-called Chief Justice even granted them official positions. Not only that, but they're now responsible for investigating cases as well. I swear, there's some hidden agenda at play here.
Go away! Quit acting innocent!
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
Pyro-
not happy with
Pyroba Warrior. Yeah. It's not fun times. Here in the run-through of Genshin's own slug-based Dreyfus affair.
I'm not leaving. I won't let you say bad stuff about him. We joined the Mar solved lots and lots of cases. We've never done anything wrong.
Solving cases? With Neuvillette in cahoots with you? You could have fabricated it all, and no one would know.
Humans a shit. Humans just a shit.
So tell me, how can you guarantee that you Melusines aren't involved in anything that occurred recently?
Didn't I tell you before? Don't go advertising if you're not a good talker.
Vautrin?
Aside from spreading unjustified rumors, if you continue insulting members of the Mare Chaussee Phantom, the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol has every right to subject you to interrogation. There have indeed been an increase in cases recently, perhaps due to the shifting currents of conspiracy, and I understand your concern. However, there's been no evidence pointing towards Melusines being involved.
Even the captain of the security patrol is on their side. Neuvillette's newly reformed police force is already corrupt to the core.
How can two
That's a
completely
reform of
different species
police.
possibly coexist?
You heard that?
Yeah. I don't understand. Why won't anyone believe us?
There have been rumors saying that you were born from calamity, and that you inherently bring danger to those around you. There are countless negative rumors about you floating around in Fontaine. It's near impossible for you to become a part of this society. Best if you give up.
Oh, dude.
Hey!
Monsieur Neuvillette
Dude,
said
no.
that we needed to put both time and effort in. I don't know how long it'll take.
It's like, maybe they're
But I
right
can
and
at
you
least
should go
try
back to
making
your
my
home
best effort.
father's dragon corpse.
I still want to try a little harder. Thank you for bailing me out earlier. Okay, I won't be taking any more of your time. I painted a lot of flyers last night, so I have to stay and hand them out to everyone.
Yeah, Liyue people are respectful of the Adepti, and they are completely ethical businessmen, and they don't dabble in fake or spun news. And basically everything we've ever learned about Liyue is how it is a perfect bastion of law and order and harmony.
Give them to me.
You're not gonna take them away, right?
That's probably how Genshin gets away with everything else.
Yep.
We'll hand them out together. The faster we get this done, the sooner we can head back.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, there was like a thing that
Hi,
was
Kanji.
essentially... Hey, Kanji. There was some... What was the, like, we've talked about it on the show before, but what was the, sort of, like, edict that no one from Liyue can be portrayed as, like, basically anything negative?
There are... So, I would love to have somebody who actually kind of knows about this shit, but there's a lot of, like, rules that you have to abide by as a creator of media in China, and I think one of the things is, like, in an international setting, China cannot be seen as anything but, like, morally, like, perfect and upstanding. And I don't know if that's a hard and fast law, or if it's just like, if you don't do this and everyone's just gonna get upset with you, you know.
Medals of Peace, awarded to you and Vautrin.
This is all like secondhand stuff that I've read from people who I thought knew kind of what the situation is, so do not take it from us as gospel.
Yeah, well...
It would be a really good topic to kind of get into a deep dive with somebody on the show.
Thank you for your continued dedication in the past 5 years. You've taken one small step forward in helping.
But I will point out that, like, even in the Liyue storyline, the threat to Liyue did not come from really an internal source. It was child fucking around.
Yeah,
So,
and even though there was an interesting internal power struggle between the Qixing and the Adepti, we weren't there for that. We were off getting flowers for perfume.
Hey, don't say that. We wouldn't have
Thanks,
made it
Ingar.
this far without you.
Thanks, Ingar.
It won't be long before
Thanks,
Melusine begin
Ingar.
living peacefully with the humans. Just the thought of it makes me happy.
Don't keep your hopes up. We've barely scratched the surface. There's still a long way to go before that dream of yours comes true.
Ugh, you blockhead! Don't ruin the mood!
Yeah, so Zhongli played mind games with his people. Ray Jace is really one of the greats. I've been looking forward to him being in Genshin for a long time.
Vautrin brings up a good point. The trust humans have placed in you is still very fragile. Any small incident could...
alright, at the risk of ruining the mood, can I ask a question?
Oh yeah, we ruin moods all the time. Go ahead.
Are we watching Bright right now?
It's like you were the sin eater for all the thoughts I had during this segment. And now I don't have to take any heat.
Please be on your guard for the next few days.
Yes, sir.
Oh boy.
Okay, got it.
Let's just say I'm glad you brought it up and not me.
They hated him because he spoke the truth.
Also, I don't think I'm allowed to bring it up.
Medal of Peace? Peace isn't going to give us back what's rightfully ours.
Are you sure we should do this? We're no
Suave
match for
Gotha.
Neuvillette, even with all our powers combined. What if...
Nah.
Oh, well, we're actually watching the clan rally here.
Yeah.
Like the makings of
Oh,
it.
it's so yucky.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's real bad.
What if they pour salt out?
No, no! Oh god, no!
What if that's like
Unless
that's
he
the
wants to become
equivalent?
an enemy of Fontaine.
That's the equivalent of burning a cross. It's just like
No! Oh my god,
pouring
no!
salt
Oh!
on the street.
So quit worrying and just
Oh.
go ahead with it.
Ah, okay. This is getting real heavy. This is too
Yeah,
heavy.
okay, yeah.
Let's go
Let's
back
roll-
to talking about fucking Bright. Ooh.
Okay, so this isn't very Dreyfus affair. As far as I know, the Dreyfus affair, the crime in question was not committed with an agenda to make things worse for marginalized people.
I guess you're right. Ugh. If he just left things the way they were, it never would have come to this. But he's forced our hand. Time to teach him a lesson.
We've done it. We've said the bad thing.
That's probably the worst it's ever going to... Well, okay. I don't want to tempt fate where I'm saying, like, that's the worst this is ever going to be.
You know it'll be worse. We're monsters.
See, Sidekick, this is the real shit here.
This is the
Like,
same game that has, like...
The Weenie Hut Jr. prison. the goddamn, like, soda conspiracy.
This is the same game that has Berry Puff. And, like...
You mean Crying Big Grape?
I love Crying Big Grape.
We need some levity before we see these next, like, racist ghosts.
Can't be trusted. That goes for Neuvillette too.
Peaceful coexistence? What a joke. Get out of the court of Fontaine and don't ever come back.
Oh god, look at their tails when they shake.
No. Fighter Big Grape versus Marcel, the serial killer.
I mean, we know we know there's one thing that Marcel can do, and that is drown. So all Big Grape has to do is drag him underwater, and that should take care of business.
The results of the investigation are in, Captain Vautrin.
Go on.
There is no direct evidence, but reasonable inference indicates that the ones controlling the situation are supporters of the old regime, whose interests have been undermined by the reform.
What's the old regime? Whose old regime is it?
The Vichy Fontenoise want the slug people's gone.
Oh, no! No, we've already violated Godwin's law now. Fuck, go back.
They tricked Miss Carol into going
We've
to
said
the
some
crime scene
heinous
and
shit
pressed charges against her.
in the last, like,
After that,
5
they
minutes, and I'm
incited
just
panic
like...
among the people in order to make
This is
Monsieur
actually the
Neuvillette
closest I've
confess
come
his
to
mistakes
apologizing
and
for our
yield up
conduct
power.
today. This is actually kind of bad, and I am sorry personally.
That involves saying the C word
The
multiple
guards were
times.
stopped by the enraged mob and couldn't intervene in time.
No.
Miss
That was
Carol
warranted.
chose to sacrifice
They
herself
didn't-
to
The
pacify
C
the
word
mob.
was always said in the
regime,
context
because,
of complimenting a character's outfit.
The old regime of Fontaine had like a lot more Oceania in it, right?
Yeah.
Like in a weird way, there is like actual in-game generational differences between like Fontaine of 500 years. Actually, I suppose that's true everywhere.
That's kind of what I want to get into, because like what I like about Fontaine is it has very tangible recent history that's like less than 500 years old. That's what I'm thinking, Spickle. It's like the way they talk about Lemuria, as well as like Remus, and he's not called the Sun King, but it's kind of like he feels like he's analogous to like the Sun King. It's like, so which would be more recent history for them if he got, you know, deposed. But they also talk about it like it is very ancient. It's confusing.
And she called me a blockhead.
Although, I guess we'll probably get a little more of that in either Risley's character quest or the next Archon quest, since, you know, we just saw the ship at the very
A
end.
little investigation would have cleared things up. Why didn't she wait until we'd established the truth? She didn't have to prove her innocence like that.
Oh no.
Oh Jesus.
The situation had rapidly escalated to a physical altercation between infuriated citizens and the guards.
Oh my god.
Miss Carol might have thought there was no better plan.
That is indeed something she'd do.
Captain Vautrin, should I present these results to Monsieur Neuvillette right away?
There's no need. Notify the guards to restrict public access to all information.
Restrict access to... Wait, are you planning to...
There's something I've never told Carol. I had a little sister named Ilaria who passed away when I was very young. She's just like Carol in every possible way. Innocent, kind, always believing the best of people. People like her are the most vulnerable to deception and betrayal. From the moment I met Carol, I knew that she'd be easily manipulated by others. I kept a cold demeanor and tried lecturing her into giving up.
Looks like she was unfazed by that.
Yes. In fact, some of her spirit must have rubbed off on me instead. Because I too began working towards that pie-in-the-sky dream of hers. I should have known. Those cowards don't have the guts to confront Neuvillette. They even avoided causing trouble for me. They were after Carol all along. Can you understand how I feel? Right now, there's only one thought on my mind. Only through bloodshed can their debt be repaid.
I understand, but I'm certain Monsieur Neuvillette wouldn't accept that as a solution.
That's exactly why we need to keep this a secret. Give me the list of suspects. What happens after this has nothing to do with any of you.
How many times has Fontaine been flooded?
I will take responsibility for
At
everything.
least twice.
Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, I didn't think there was gonna be anything on here. And this is new.
Yeah.
Like, this is not the same bulletin board stuff you get at the present-day Opera House. I guess I'll have to go check. I don't know if this is... Yeah, I think this is actually, like, original to this. Although, they usually add stuff
Our heads are blocking some of it in the some of the UI there.
Yeah, this is why I didn't want to do world quests, because cover a lot of shit. Actually, this is a perfect screen. I think I am going to... shrink a churl. I actually already, like... Ugh.
The churls are getting smaller.
So small.
I actually already resized us.
I'm still blocking a decent portion of the text there
Yeah,
from what
I
I'm seeing
know.
on the...
I'm not done.
Ah!
I will get atomized, fucko.
No, don't turn me into a marketable flesh.
I think that should be okay. Spickle, please don't crush our tiny heads with your hand. I'm actually gonna take a bio break. I'm kind of dying here.
We could, yeah, maybe just take a break before whatever's about to happen next, because...
Yeah. BRB. Okay, we back. Thank you for waiting.
So before we get into the real shit, let's see if, what else is on this bulletin board.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not gonna look at it. So, if you're not depressed enough after having done this, Neuvillette character story quest. We Churlmen have this podcast that we absolutely love, and I think I've mentioned it on Twitter before. It's called The Land of Desire, and it's all about just like strange little facets of like French culture and history. And the host did a like multi episode part on the Dreyfus affair, just going like blow by blow, and it's really heavy and it sucks, but it's incredibly important. Obviously, bigotry towards, you know, real groups of people hits a little different than these cute slug things, and that's sad enough. But it's that's kind of like where I learned all the details about the case.
We'll definitely have to check it out on my side, especially with the upcoming episodes.
It's very depressing.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, there are lighter episodes too.
Yeah, no, the podcast in general is fantastic.
The final battle of the White Armada.
Yeah. Pre-Cataclysm era.
Clockwork Capellia. Pygmalion in the mirror.
God. Alright. We're hitting all of our marks here.
I think Scaramouche was Pygmalion in the mirror.
Yeah. Alright, that's it.
There's a lot of text here.
There's a ton. I think this is it, though.
You say Ordo's secret treasure?
Yeah, like the Ordo... I think that's what the Narcissan cruise is called.
Oh, right, the Narcissan Cruise Ordo, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you know?
All right, here we
We're hearing
go.
a major case today, and the criminal is Captain Vautrin of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. Apparently, he resorted to personal measures to seek revenge for Carol and settled the score with the group that framed his friend. Hey, why aren't you saying anything?
I'm thinking. We should try our best to bail him out when the trial commences.
Bail him out? Why?
Shh, keep it down! Haven't you realized? Both Vautrin and Carol are Neuvillette's most trusted subordinates. After everything that happened to Carol, Neuvillette's guaranteed to do everything he can to keep Vautrin around. Besides, now that the old regime has been uprooted, Neuvillette's status is secure as can be. As long as we redirect public opinion, Neuvillette will be able to give Vautrin a reprieve. The benefits are endless.
Hopefully we'll get more old regime stuff in Furina's quest.
Little did they realize Neuvillette.
Better than the old Viet!
I was waiting to use that joke, and that's not where I wanted to use it. Anyway, little did they realize that Neuvillette.
I'm not actually that sorry. I'm only half sorry.
Little did they realize that Neuvillette is willing to send Callus to his grave at the hands of Forehand, so
yeah.
No way is the guy getting out of this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right! This whole thing started because of those despicable cowards who levied false accusations against Carol. How could Vautrin be declared guilty for seeking revenge?
Yeah, revenge is extremely French. It's like what all of your great novels are about, so...
Monsieur Neuvillette.
Mr. Vautrin is innocent!
Well, when this is done, you guys are definitely welcome to, like, look back at it and add that stuff from the VOD, like, into the wiki.
We're going to grab some footage of it later, too.
Yeah.
I acknowledge your arguments. Vautrin, your revenge could be seen as a form of justice. I understand your decision.
You don't speak for me, Cybic. I am a little bit sorry, but I don't regret what I did.
Grief about the judgment I must now impose. Personal justice does not equate to justice as defined by the law. To execute your plan for revenge, you abused your authority and conducted informal executions. Your actions have thus violated the law. Therefore, you will be declared guilty.
Rechase is so good.
What? That can't be.
Yeah.
Monsieur Neuvillette, please give this a little more thought. He has...
Vautrin, my friend, is there anything else you want to say?
Neuvillette. What have I done to deserve this? I've closely followed every one of your orders. Can't you see? Everyone in this room believes that I'm innocent. Why can't you just let me off?
Now you're the Dreyfus.
Is this what justice means to you? Answer me, Neuvillette!
Order. Since there have been no further objections, the Oratrice will now deliver the final verdict regarding the charges against Mr. Vautrin. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Mr. Vautrin will be declared guilty.
Goodbye.
Neighbor's like shaking my head for real, for real.
SMH. Also, again, shoo out the Paimons when we tackle a heavy subject matter.
Yeah, really?
What if she was just gone? Most of the time.
This all happened because of Carol's naive ideas.
How can different species peacefully coexist anyway?
Oh man, it's like, and look how like integrated they are today.
Hey, stop spacing out!
Just peace and harmony is fought for and held dearly, and as this game and many events have proved, we cannot take that for granted.
What's wrong? Are you not feeling well?
Apologies, it seems like my memories got the better of me.
Wow,
Oh, he like...
that looks really sad. Did you notice?
Why are those guys so mean to Carol? She didn't do anything wrong! Anyway, Paimon's hungry!
Your mic's eating that a little bit.
That's probably for the better. Alright, let me translate. Why is everyone mad at Carol? She didn't do anything wrong. Anyway, Paimon's hungry.
I tried my best to suppress the power of Hydro within myself, but it seems like it still caused the emotions within the fountain of Lucine to boil over. Due to my negligence, the overflow of emotions and memories must have affected you as well. Are you all right?
Neuvillette is no longer allowed near the sad fountain.
Wow. The Hydro Dragon is more powerful than Paimon thought.
See, there she goes. Here's her unhelpful addition.
You're like, Paimon, I need to lie down and think about human nature a bit.
Wow, dragons are crazy!
It is as you said. This might be because I am different. It is not only the fountain. I can sense emotions from all waters in Fontaine. Rivers, lakes, and even the rain.
That sounds awesome!
But I rarely ever do anything like this. Emotions carried by water are always chaotic and disconnected. As an outsider, having my mind occupied with irrelevant memories isn't exactly a pleasant experience. Which ones? It's fine. I prefer not to speak of those memories. That does not mean I am deliberately hiding them. It was a coincidence, but perhaps it is a good thing that you saw everything in that form. You should now understand why I believe there to be a conspiracy behind all this. These two cases are much too similar.
Paimon, don't leave Paimon out of the conversation. Paimon wants to help too.
I'm literally like, no, I'm reinserting myself.
Delete Paimon.
I think there's a time and a place for Paimon.
Yes. Paimon is
Here
always...
not there.
Paimon is like salt, and they always just over salt.
Don't keep bringing up salt in the context of these Melusines. Haven't they suffered enough?
You're the one who drew that line.
What do you mean I'm the one that drew that line? You brought that shit up earlier.
I was not intentionally repeating it here. God. Man.
Then let us get back to the point.
Such a
Need a brain reset.
While I was investigating the fountain, I discovered something strange. I did not sense too much hatred towards me within its accumulated emotions. However, I did find some resentment directed towards Kiara. If I remember correctly, it seemed to be related to a smuggling case.
Yeah, because Ray Chase is a real one. Final Fantasy 15 was dog shit, but he carried it.
I don't know what caused this to happen, but
yeah,
it seems
the performances were the last thing that were a problem with that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, didn't we read about that in one of the documents?
You've read about it. In that case, the resentment should have come from that incident.
No worries, King Alex.
Mm-hmm.
We agree with you.
Welcome back from the incredibly sad past to the still quite sad present.
Huh? What are you doing here?
Oh, shit!
I was just about to look
Oh
for
my
you at
god,
the
what?
Palais Pneumonia.
It's Navia. Navia's here.
Yeah! Navia's getting paid!
Everything's gonna get better, you guys.
Thank God. Hello, you little ray of Mafia sunshine.
Navia, nice to see you again. Is there something we can help with?
I've heard some things, but I'm not purposely asking around or anything. Don't worry.
Wink.
Rumors are abroad that someone's scheming against Melusines, and that you're investigating the case.
I clapped. I clapped when I saw Navia.
So I told the Spina di Rosula to keep an eye out for leads. We've had unfamiliar faces showing themselves at the Fleuve Cendre lately. Maybe you'll find the suspects among them.
Thank you. Where did you hear about all this?
I'm the Mafia. I have my sources.
The Chief Justice out on investigation, accompanied by the Traveler from afar.
She probably also asked
How
Charlotte.
you conceal your whereabouts, there will be
Yeah, right.
countless eyes watching you. You talked to Kiara, but didn't ask her
Oh,
to
I
keep
get
things
it. She's
secret.
geo-element because
Curious to know
geo
asked
plus
around
water
for
equals
information,
concrete.
And it was only a matter of time before word of the threatening letters
I think
spread all
geo
over
plus water
Fontaine.
equals
Her
mud.
burst is putting Geo shoes on you and dropping you in the lake.
So that's what Charlotte meant.
Look, geo support for Hydro.
Indeed. I did
Slow
not expect that
effect,
this could
drown
be kept hidden for
effect.
too long, but the rumors still spread faster than I imagined.
You know, it could be because you attract more attention than you think. Anyway, any progress with the investigation?
The suspects who threatened Kiara might have to do with a certain smuggling case, but it is still uncertain if there is in fact another party behind all this. We are planning to return to the Palais Mormonia to revisit some details, It identified the senders of that threatening letter.
Alright, then I'll round up the Spina di Rosula and follow up on their progress. Wait for my word. Ta-ta!
Bye.
Neuvillette, do you think there'll be any problems now that the word is out?
I have already considered that possibility, and I do not think that there will be any. As a matter of fact, once the word gets out, no one would dare to harm Kiara in broad daylight.
Yeah, you're right, King Alex. That was like 3,
Yeah, we're at 3 right
4.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is more important is how the case is perceived by the public. 400 years ago, they chose to side with the old regime and direct their resentment towards the Melusines.
So this is when he was a rookie.
Yeah, yeah.
This is when he was no greater than a meager barrister.
Yes.
The new Neuvillette.
You're not gonna say it? Alright.
I hope the same.
Better
won't
than the
happen
old
again.
Villette.
Let us head back to the Palais.
We already did that gag.
Yeah.
I bet he didn't name himself. I wonder who named him. And just like he's here to kind of represent like a new era. It just means like new little village, right?
Mr. Newtown.
Mr. Newton.
What are these
Mr. Newtown.
so late at night? Did something happen? Let's take a look around.
Yeah, like anyone that's not like a, mass-produced NPC.
Yeah, we've seen the visions on them. We know they're going to be playable.
Someone's plotting against a Melusine. This is 100% the truth. Even the Chief Justice is investigating in person.
Now they're all protecting.
What? That's it. Who's been threatening Melusines? Show yourself.
Our enemies are
Ah, the Melusine fan club's out in full force.
We
No
love
amount of
the
hiding will keep
slugs.
us from finding them.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. The guards have already begun to take action. We can't just stand by and watch. Think about how much we owe them. Now that they're in danger, how can we just sit back and do nothing?
Everyone, please stay alert to your surroundings from now on. If you see any suspicious persons, report them to the guards immediately.
It feels like you've been following me this whole time. Did something happen?
Henri Neuvillette. Claude Frollo Neuvillette. I think they confirmed Scylla is female. In Genshin.
Scylla's usually female.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, given that there's like a big emphasis being placed on the Rift Wolves, I'm almost like a renewed like interest placed on the Rift Wolves. I almost wonder if Scylla's gonna actually be like a real Scylla.
Oh, good point. That'd be a good way to tie it in.
Yeah, yeah.
We were informed that.
Nope. We just finished our shifts and happened to be strolling by.
Have you had dinner yet? Why don't we check out the new items at the dessert shop together?
Yeah, exactly. Isaac Newtown. Spickle's got it.
Isaac Newtown.
Also, oh, oop. Thank you, Speeds, for correcting. I goofed.
This isn't a good time to be out and about.
Come on, don't act tough. I bet you're hungry too.
Let's go get some donuts, or I guess beignets.
All right, let's go buy a cake or something.
Well, I was close.
You shouldn't ever skip meals, especially if you have another shift scheduled for later.
I heard even Neuvillette's keeping an eye on the situation. This is the perfect chance to get promoted. We gotta make sure we give it all we've got.
Yay, and now the self-serving social climbers are at least doing it on the side of justice and civil rights.
Seriously?
Were you planning to shirk your duties if Neuvillette wasn't involved?
Relax, I was just playing. We've worked together for years now. If something happened to them, I'd be haunted by regret for the rest of my life.
This is a little clumsy, but well-intentioned.
Yeah. No, I think, like, we needed some just, like, dumb hope
we need
after that.
That's more like
Yeah, yeah, I see the functionality of it.
Yeah, we just need a little detox.
Come and fight me instead, you cowards!
Have you heard? Even the special patrol came to help.
Shh, look. Is it that Neuvillette? I think he's looking at us.
Looks like there's nothing to worry about.
This is truly wonderful.
So, wanna go over and say hi?
I mean, it's probably Leviathan, right?
No, I should
Call him
stay
Levi.
where I am. My appearance could give rise to unnecessary commotion. Let us stick to our plan and return to the Palais Mermonia. The faster we uncover the truth, the better.
Everyone start doing anagrams for Neuvillette and see what you get.
Time to go to the anagram generator.
I don't think they've mentioned this special patrol. I saw an NPC talking about it in some random corner of the city.
What is the special patrol?
They're just kind of like police scouts.
The strike force? The
They
SWAT
seem to be
team?
more like a survey corps from the way they talk about them. Though I don't know why you need them in a city. Maybe they are like the SWAT team or something.
No, there's just a website, Sidemaker's just a website that's like, you just plug in some letters and it just generates every possible anagram using those combinations of letters, even stuff that doesn't, like, make any sense.
There are ones that are for words as well. Like, you can't spell Neuvillette without including the word entitled.
That's pretty good.
Or entitle.
Alright. No, I already read it. So there's a special security force and there's a surveillance corps. Maybe they're
Where
like.
were they when?
I was
where
gonna
were
say
they when Purina got jumped?
really badly. Maybe they're like ninjas. Like they're spies or an intelligence agency.
We see their uniforms and it's just that thing that Arlecchino was wearing, and it's like, oh.
It's all just hot women with their arms exposed.
It's like, haven't you seen the special forces? They're walking around all the time, just like flashbacks to like Arlecchino's gang squad.
This is the one. The list of involved suspects should be... Ah, found it.
What is the name Marechaussee Phantom a reference to? Like,
Marechaussee Fantôme. Let's find out.
The principal offenders, Domenico,
it's a weird name
Inika,
for a
Yuna,
personal
and others have been
police
caught.
force, though.
They have been sent to the fortress of Meropide following trial. Those with close connections or mutual interests with the offenders,
is a historical guard force in French colonies. So it's like oh wait, yeah, it could be a maréchal. That's the equivalent of a marshal.
Oh, marshal, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Incidentally, maréchal was the rank that Lucine held, one of history's greatest traitors.
I was thinking that on the... Oh, go on.
That's the second time we've referenced Vichy France.
We gotta stop.
Please. Yeah, Kitsune Kira, on the rewatch of the VOD with Furina, that was actually really whack. Especially because, like, Clorand guards her in the trial in 4.0, and I thought that was her, like, other job. Clorand just seems to kind of fill in for odd tasks.
Again, I think Clorand's like a folk hero sort of character a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, she definitely has like an official.
She's a musketeer. She's like a swashbuckler.
Yeah.
Chivalrous.
Her official position is to be like a show duelist, so she's good for public functions, but otherwise that's not her full-time job.
Yeah. And yeah, Furina is incredibly killable. Like Arlecchino she didn't need to bring the god-killing device. She just like these hands. I mean, Arlecchino's got weird hands, so
in a bandit costume, like at a park bench. Like, what were you doing before this?
The masquerade ball.
Like, just sees Furina out of the corner of her eye and is like, "Hey, wait a minute."
Yeah, it's weird that they have a name like Hidden Marshals or Phantom Marshals when they're a very public-facing like body.
Among them, surveillance of Essin has ceased on account of his good behavior. All other personnel remain on our watch list.
So many names.
I think Furina keeps her powers locked away right now. I really feel like there's another shoe that's going to drop with her about like why she doesn't remember anything of any sort of importance and why she can't seem to do anything. Like, I think she's like mostly inside the Oratrice and is going to get like she's going to re-siphon the rest of herself out of there at a point.
Yeah, she's like, oh no, I got stuck in my own justice engine. Somebody pull me out.
Yeah, Cybeck brings up a good point. This Furina, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, she might just be an Eidolon. We didn't really consider that, but like the Furina we know might just be an Eidolon for the real Furina. Like they set that up.
Yeah.
Deliberately. So.
It makes the sense.
I mean, I'll bet you Furina made the Oratrice, but like Furina that we know is only part of Furina.
I just hang out here in the Oratrice, and the part of me that wants to go apeshit, I just send her out to do dumb things all day.
Yes, there is something
It's
suspicious
a win-win.
about Essin, to be precise. It seems like he's closely related to the core members of the smuggling case, and he moves around without much restriction.
Monsieur Neuvillette, someone claiming to be from the Spina Durasula
That's true.
just checked
She
in
is
with us.
true. Like, she is some weak sauce little creature.
He said, and I quote, "We have located the suspect."
He's like, I'm just a little guy.
Huh? How did Navia find them so quickly? We've only just figured out the suspect's name.
Do you think you could beat up, like, who would take a beating better, her or Nahida?
What, Furina or Nahida?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
It has to be Nahida, because Nahida would, like, take her along and come out of it being like, well, that sucks, but it was a learning experience. Meanwhile, Furina would just be, like, crying the whole time. And then come out of it learning absolutely nothing.
You know what? Nahida has more tricks on her side right now.
Yeah, I feel like she could... I mean, like, if you get her on her home turf, she could just jump into your mind and melt it. Yeah, she literally, like alley-ooped Scaramouche into a dream loop when they were fighting, so...
Yeah, that's true. They, like, and she did take lumps, what, like, actually 108 times during that fight? Like, she died in the dreamscape a lot. Yeah, you know, she's tough. She's a tough little goblin.
Exactly.
And take a look.
That's one duende you can't knock down. This one, though, pure fluff, like a souffle. All air.
Like, we know that Nahida can take a hit, because, like, we saw it happen.
Mm-hmm. She could just pilot someone who could take a bigger hit. A is, I mean, A's not like just a raw brute. She's also like, she invented Bushido. I think Rex Lapis is the biggest toss-up because it depends on how much those mids are exaggerated.
Also, I don't think that's entirely fair, Lucine here. She has showmanship.
She is incredibly charismatic in a country where that is the social currency. Like, she is a politician.
I was going to say, like...
she is a much more of a politician than she is a lawyer.
I was going to say, yeah, Furina's redeeming quality is that she's really, really funny.
She's also incredibly funny, and I love seeing her on the screen.
But more than that, we know that like she's gonna have another shoe that drops one way or another. There's something else to her that we haven't seen yet, and the game hasn't given us a lot of concrete hints. There's a lot of theories, but we're gonna find out. She's gonna get her time to shine.
Yeah,
especially because if, like, you know, Neuvillette doesn't hijack her second Archon quest, we're gonna have 2 whole Archon quests and a weekly boss. If the pattern, you know, stays to get to know her better.
Exactly.
With that said, overall, all Archons
They're not
going to
leave her
like,
being weak sauce, and she will always be enjoyable.
I mean, all the Archons are incompetent in their own ways anyway.
Exactly.
It's the red-haired gang. This is the cafe where everything goes down all the time.
All these people.
Yeah.
Hey there, are you Navia's friends too?
That lady who yelled at
These
me.
are the people who have had recent dealings at the Marechaussee Phantom. They're usually hidden in the Fleuve Cendre, but I sent for someone to invite them over.
Who did you send, Navia?
Who did you send, Navia?
Invite them over.
Exactly. Now, I heard there's great coffee here, and so I asked them if they'd like to come and have some.
Yeah, it's our pleasure to be guests of the Spina di Rosula.
I know they are drinking espresso, though, versus, like, the coffee that they drink in Sumeru. Because they talk about,
that makes
like...
sense. You gotta distinguish it, yeah.
They talk about, Americanos, basically.
I've wanted to have a meetup like this for ages.
Oh, ooh, that's a good point, King Alex. That was before they had the insignia for the Melusine forces, and so they just didn't have hats.
Something feels off.
Notice there's an empty chair there. I'm just saying, I think Navia made an example of someone.
Venti said he was weak for a reason, and was it because, like, he wasn't exercising his powers, or he didn't have enough, like, sustained faith? I forget what he had a rationale for being like, I'm one of the weaker Archons because blah blah blah.
I think it was, it was either sustained faith or that he didn't govern, like, in a way that made himself visible, I believe.
Yeah, that could be.
Your Essa?
Yes, monsieur, Neuvillette.
Neuvillette.
Did you write that threatening letter to Kiara?
Spickle says it was about faith, I think. Yeah.
I did, but I was just following orders.
Thanks, Stream Elements bot.
Orders from whom?
Like, I think it's, like, it feels kind of clear that Venti is basically, like, the equivalent of an angel to, like, the big G god that is Ishtaroth. So, maybe, like, he's more of a conduit to power to and from her than he is, like, a source of his own power.
Domenico, he was my boss. I couldn't disobey his orders.
Domenico.
Dominic would never make you write hate mail. He understands the meaning of family.
Domenico.
That's a different
Where
Dominic.
is he now?
Although incidentally also a proprietor of a small crime syndicate / strike force.
Who enjoy having lunch together outside.
The fortress of Meropide.
Well, I'm afraid even the Spina would have trouble looking into that place. Looks like you'll have to make the trip yourselves. This was as much as I could do.
Thanks, Navia.
You've done more than enough. I am extremely grateful for your help.
I wonder, Kitsune Kira, if we will see any bit of that in the final leg of the Archon quest. Maybe we'll get Neuvillette's full-on Leviathan form.
Leave the formalities for later. You should find Domenico first. If he really is the one setting up the conspiracy, it'd be best if he's exposed as soon as possible.
Alright then, let's head to the fortress right now!
I wonder if he knows Osail and Beicht.
Bye, Navia. See you in 5 weeks.
Bye, Navia.
Oh, it's this screen again.
God, I am so curious about unfinished comedy. I just know it's going to take 1,000,000 hours. Bye, Navia.
I don't know if they're going to do that again.
I hope not.
Neuvillette made an appearance in person. This is the perfect chance to make a name for myself. But how should I make the most of this and get the work?
What was that, Spickle? I don't quite recall. Down we plunge to the prison.
It's Monsieur Neuvillette.
Yeah, we still don't know that much about Gnosis, and every god seemed pretty happy to part with theirs pretty easily. And even,
right now, I think...
even Venti, like, may have taken a bump instead of, like, actually losing it dearly.
Oh wow, here we go, another one.
Of Meropide, dear
Whoa,
esteemed guests.
Everyone's here.
We're back. Spare me.
Oh, and a greeting from none other than the Duke himself. Guess we made a name for ourselves at this place.
Let's say compared to the Mamere quest, how long is unfinished comedy?
This isn't anything new. I figured you had important matters to discuss when the two of you, not to mention the Chief Justice, showed up.
Everybody getting paid in this quest.
Let's assume we've gone through the pleasantries and cut right to the chase.
They finally realized that we were bored of looking at these low poly whatevers.
I do remember a thing or two about Domenico.
We're probably going to see Siegevin.
He once attempted to round up the other inmates and instigate a protest.
I hope so.
Who does this guy think he is? Simon hopes nothing came of it.
Amen, Kitsune Kira. I totally get you.
He once attempted to, I said, meaning that it was over before it even started. And now he's threatening Melusines, is he? To be honest, Domenico doesn't seem like much of a conspirator. The fact that the three of you bothered to personally investigate raises a flag.
He's got the same concerns we do.
I am concerned about this incident because something similar has occurred in the past. I wish to meet Domenico in person and have my questions answered. That's an easy one. Let me think. I think he's at...
Oh, did I hear someone say Melusine?
Bingo, bongo.
Wow, yeah.
Siegewin! Yeah, and we're investigating. The person who threatened her seems to be imprisoned here.
Shorter or the same to Mamere. That's not super encouraging.
Really? Is Kiara gonna
Mamere wasn't the longest. That was about 2 hours.
Yeah, they probably
3 tops. Okay.
There's no need to worry.
I felt like it was pretty.
I'll consider it, especially because I'm treating this stream as our last work until the strikes are done. Like, I'm under the assumption that the strikes are probably going to go into effect next week. And this was kind of our grace period to do anything that wasn't going to cross a picket line. .1 did everything it could to make us less excited about Genshin, but by God, we got through it.
Well, that's great.
I mean, the exploration's still good, and
Is there anything
in spite of everything, these two are great.
Yeah. Oh, I looked it up. It is some like Germanic fairy tale. She's like a little critter. I forget. Yeah, I agree, Speeds. I saw something from Unfinished Comedy, and I was like, oh, I probably want to finish this before the next AQ.
Ah, head nurse.
Oh,
Do
man.
you require me to personally deal with
That
the
good, huh? Alright.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I see.
That's interesting.
Kitsune Akira, what? So you're a person with incredibly good taste?
Writhely. Okay, I get it. I'll bring Dominico.
I mean, I'm right there as well.
That's your only demand, correct?
You are correct.
Think of it as more of a humble request. I'm here on my own accord, not to
I
formally
miss him. I wanna
transfer
see
a
him
criminal
again.
for trial. I urge thanks for the trouble.
Whoa! If Paimon were you here, Grace, Paimon would take this chance
What,
to ask for something really important.
They always like one of the many great things about Child is they always throw him in with really weird characters for like events and stuff. Like the Child Shinyan combo was bonkers, and then he hangs out with Yoimiya. So, what character would you like to see Child hang out with next?
Well, were I still a criminal, I'd probably ask for a lighter sentence. But I'm sure Monsieur
There's a good
Neuvillette
answer to
would
this.
reject that. But enough
I'll
jokes.
get back to you on my answer.
I'll look for Dominico and bring him to you. Make yourselves at home. Our dear head nurse
What
has
if we
mentioned
get
you
a
quite few
Child
times,
Part
so I'm sure she
2
has a lot to say.
in like 4.3?
I can imagine that. I mean, he's been... All of the Harbingers and the Archons, like, always pull ahead in terms of importance.
Yeah,
So...
he's got a shit ton of lore threads attached to him. I mean, like we said in that one episode, he's like one of the only non-Archon characters that has a solo character TV tropes like Paige. Child Hu Tao would be so fun. He brings her clients. Child and Hu Tao making a haunted like maze for the kids. Kitsune Kira, I will take both of your answers.
Think about it. I can leave
Give
this
me
place
your
soon.
ship trash one and your real good one.
Okay, I have mine, right? Now the Child has formed a prison gang. I want him and Ito to hang out. I think they would both be served well by that.
For a moment.
Furina and Wanderer, interesting.
And would anyone like anything to drink? Paimon's not that thirsty, but thanks anyway. Thirst is a warning sign that you're dehydrated, which means you have to drink up even before that.
Oh, good reminder, Siegewin. Stay hydrated.
Hmm.
Kara, they're all like, oh no, we're all stuck in this deserted island, and it's extremely small, and it's very cold, and we have to all sleep in the same sleeping bag for warmth.
I'm sure you'll have a lot to talk about. Typical Sijuin. Concerned about everyone's health as always. Why aren't you two saying anything?
I feel like Ito would definitely, like, be incredibly terrified, but absolutely not want to lose face.
You noticed
Yeah,
them
that's the
too.
thing. It's like
The badges they wore on
The Ito versus, like, the Ito child hangout would be like one person who's a blithering idiot and one person who's seemingly more competent but is actually an unhinged fight maniac.
Like, we've seen that interaction between him and Furina is basically how it would go down with Ito. Like, he is a bluff caller. It's like, oh, you would like to fight. I would love to fight.
Familiar? Paimon didn't even.
But at the same time, I also think that, like, Ito would find a way to unintentionally, like, kind of dovetail it into something else like beetle fighting or like Genius Invocation TCG, and Child wouldn't even bat an eye and just look at it as like the same thing, basically.
We really did leave Child in Shigitaiso's Shank Shack overnight. We're like, he'll be fine.
That's not a bad idea.
You
I will
loved
stay
it.
here and wait for news from you.
The reaction to the character really is just like, oh, he's causing trouble again, but it's not our trouble.
That's our boy. Walk, walk, fashion baby.
I place great trust in Wriothesley, so I rarely visit the fortress of Meripede. However, exceptional circumstances call for exceptional measures. I hope I didn't cause him too much trouble.
It's just like, as someone who loves children, I don't know how Child would feel about man-children. I think he might get
What's
really...
the thing? Ito's a bully. Like, Ito is constantly getting into feuds with 6-year-olds. No, that's why I want to see it, because it's like...
Too slow.
It's a case where I'm like looking at this and I'm like, there are no heroes here.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the weird thing. It's like, okay, he gets along with Yoimiya, but he probably wouldn't get along with Ito. But he'd probably be like good to fight him. Like, and that would probably be the basis of their friendship.
Yeah,
like, I just want to see what direction that argument would take. You know, it would go in a direction that I feel like they could.
400 years ago.
I mean, hey, you know, like, Genshin writers love to, you know, spin things off into other things. Like, there's plenty of excuses to turn whatever that interaction is into the basis for almost literally anything else in the game.
Helping each other is our purpose. At the same time,
yeah,
we
I
seek
love
to
how
maintain
Child
just
is really
dealings
just
as
like,
much
he's
as
such a pleasant psychopath.
Sounds like a pretty neat organization.
He's a psychopath you could have like a shot of vodka and go ice fishing with.
All we want is to defend ourselves. None of us, but people won't give us a hard time if we stick together.
It's that Michael Jordan thing where he's like, I have a competition problem.
Yeah, I have never heard him as angry as when he loses to you in Genius TCG. He actually, he drops all,
kind of familiar.
like, geniality.
It's the symbol of the
And
mutual
he's not like,
designed by
oh
our
man,
first
you got me. You're like, oh geez. He's like, he speaks to you so coldly. It's great.
From what I've heard, it's based on something called a Medal of Peace. I've never seen one of those medals for myself, though. The first president of our network was an amazing person. Powerful as he was, he never used his strength against anyone.
Because Child's done a lot of
He
fucked up
encouraged
stuff,
the
but
weaker
not
criminals to
anything
stick
that really
together and
messed
look
up the
out for
course
each
of
other.
history.
I mean, it could have if it wasn't a fun little prank from the Geo Archon.
Yeah.
All of us have a lot of respect for him.
There's a question for the long term. What do you guys think the ultimate contract is going to be? Because the answer is it's going to be whatever Deus Ex Machina they need it to be. But if anyone has any good ideas, it's really important for a thing that was deliberately ill-defined.
Mr. Dawe, we've written ourselves into a hole. It's finally time to bring out that.
The ultimate contract.
Interested in joining the Mutual Aid Network?
Level 99 Crook, that is not a problem.
If you'd like to learn more,
that
here's
is a
our
feature.
flyer.
Kitsune Akira, I'm envisioning some sort of modular Dottore.
Archon Quest, Chapter 4, Part 5, Child Gets Clapped. What does that mean, Genshin? what does that mean?
Our slogan may have evolved over the centuries. Here, this book is...
My brain immediately turned off as soon as I heard this OST, and I'm like, well, I'm back in the prison.
I look at this location and my body temperature drops 5 degrees.
For real. My eyes wander to everything but what's on screen. Like, thank you. You have conditioned me, like one of Pavlov's dogs, to not care about what happens here.
Did you manage to gather any intel?
No, don't hurt the whale. It's his friend.
I never want to hear about information gathering in the Fortress of Meropide ever again.
According to them, the badge's design was inspired by the Medal of Peace.
I personally crafted 2 of them myself. They were awarded to Carol and Vautrin.
Bold of you to make us do this in a very good quest after making us do this as an entire very bad chapter.
Carol's medal was destroyed in a fire. The only one that remained should belong to Vautrin.
Of course, we have to save him. After all. What about the baby?
Oh! So the network was inspired by... Monsieur Neuvillette, His Grace has requested your presence in his office.
All right.
We found Dom.
Let us talk to him first and get to the bottom of this situation.
Oh god. Kitsune Kira, that's a nightmare.
Oh man. Look, it also really doesn't help that, like, they did it much better with that, you know, fix to the map for verticality and having the sub-maps for underground areas, but man, was it bold of them to do that for this, like, 7-tiered pipe. With only 2 teleport waypoints, and a lot of elevators connecting, like, 2 specific zones to each other. Usually the central one, but I mean, it still got confusing in spite of their best efforts.
This wedding cake of tedium. I'm actually very surprised, Kitsune Kira. Maybe it's because, I don't know, most people stream it on Twitch and would have to, like, download it and then re-upload it. I don't know.
Too slow.
It is weird because
Quit following me.
I intentionally played it, like, later in the week. Because I was like, you know, more people probably watch it after they played it themselves, I guess. Oh, but this was at the time when you were playing it just to try to get around.
Allow me to introduce this...
Hi, thanks, Glowing Coral.
Fine gentleman, Domenico.
Hello.
I love that. That's a good theory. I'm enjoying it.
Why don't you explain everything to him?
And what kind of voice is this guy gonna have?
Just dude.
Just dude.
What do you want? What are you gonna do? Kill me?
Calm down. I merely want to ask you a few questions. Was it your idea to send that letter to a Melusine? Hassan has already confessed, so there really isn't any need to keep hiding.
That idiot! I can't believe I trusted him.
Let me ask this another way. It was your idea to send that letter, correct?
Yes.
Who is pulling your strings?
What?
So Domenico was pulling Domenico's strings.
You're not trying to frame me for something I haven't done, are you?
It's best if you realize the gravity of your situation. The Chief Justice of Fontaine has been personally investigating your case.
Yeah, Law and Order, which incidentally are the names of Risley's fists.
I assume your previous attempt to incite unrest at the Fortress of Meropide has something to do with this as well.
I admit I acted on impulse. I'll tell you the truth. But before that, you must ensure my safety.
I can do that.
You see, we're all reasonable people here.
I only intended to do some small business at first.
Someone contacted me about delivering some goods and promised me a generous sum of more in return.
Genshin is definitely designed to grab you wholeheartedly and not let you concentrate on anything else. Our season's breaks are not just so we can enjoy the Archon quest, it's so that we can catch up with other things in our lives.
After making a few trips,
Like Armored Core and Baldur's Gate.
by the Marechaussee Phantom. They accused me of smuggling
Also walking and breathing fresh air.
Walking, cooking, pursuing other hobbies.
Writing slam poetry.
Enjoying the limitless freedoms of just being alive and not in the fortress of Meropide.
Yep.
So they could get their hands on my goods.
Soaking up that sweet, sweet vitamin D from the sunlight. Trying to get rid of your socks tan.
And then you decided to take revenge on the
Failing.
Melusines? Over that?
My initial target was Neuvillette. Everyone in the fortress of Meropide was declared guilty by him after all. So they must more or less hold a grudge against them, right? If I could get them to strike back. But for some reason, no one wanted to team up with me. That mutual aid network in particular. What did those nobodies even gain from trying to challenge me? Seriously. In the end, I had to redirect my focus onto Melusines to salvage things.
Racism was plan B. God.
I recall that Kiara was the one who confiscated my goods
Racism
for
was my
inspection.
fallback.
So I asked one of the more approachable guards to send a letter, claiming that I meant to contact my family. But the letter was in fact addressed to Essa. I requested that he write a threat letter to Kiara and force her to resign from the Marechaussee Phantom.
Am I to assume that the claims you've made are your own thoughts? Have you been in contact with any suspicious people recently?
No.
Is it true that all members involved in the smuggling scandal have been caught?
Yes. And that's all I know.
Sigewinne, please take him back to the detention center. I'll deal with him later.
Oh god, he's going to punch him in the head.
So, Monsieur Neuvillette, you were concerned that there might be a shadowy faction looking to capitalize on the delicate situation with the Melusines to stir up greater chaos?
Yes. I experienced a similar incident in the past, so I had to be prepared for any possibility.
And how long ago was this incident?
More than 400 years.
You might be overthinking this.
That's right, Risley. Racism has been solved for a long time now.
It definitely is over after 400 years.
We can all breathe a sigh of relief.
Time can change a lot of things. Everything's different now.
What do you mean?
400 years ago, you and the Melusines you brought to Fontaine were the outliers in society. But in the present day, if someone were to threaten the safety of the Melusines, people wouldn't just sit back and do nothing.
In the present day, you guys are fully integrated into Fontenoy society. They still don't make clothes for us. Completely integrated into Fontenoy society.
Pants. I just want some pants.
Standing up for Melusines on our way back to the Palais Mermonia.
Monsieur Neuvillette, the Melusines are a species you introduced to Fontaine. How the public treats them is also reflective of their attitude towards you.
I just imagine Neuvillette walking out of the sea with like half a dozen like slug girls under each arm. He's like, look at these things I found. I think they're neat. And they're all like, bonjour.
When people refuse to place their trust in Melusines,
check it out. If we give them crayons, they'll draw the trippiest things you've ever seen.
Navia overreacting, but he's not totally overreacting. I don't think it's bad to overreact to bigotry, and the point is, we're living in a time where we can't say that's crazy that happened, and it'll never happen again. Thank God. We've moved on from that. No, we haven't moved on from anything. Living in a just world requires active maintenance and vigilance.
For almost 500 years, you've conducted every trial with impartiality. You made the right judgment each time, regardless
I mean, no, he's
of whatever
absolutely,
nonsense went on.
he's absolutely traumatized. I don't agree with what Risley is saying. Neuvillette is on the ball here.
It's like, racism's over now, Neuvillette. Wake up.
Racism's over, and I think people will genuinely protect the Melusines. Like, even if that's true, it does require Neuvillette, go out of his way to also, especially as a figure of authority, look into it.
Yeah. Also, I love fantasy demonyms about as much as I love fantasy slurs. That's why we are utterly disappointed that they went with the incredibly lame Fontainian as the canonical demonym for the people of Fontaine. You will never hear this word from any of the Trilbin. We are 100% on board with either Fontenoy or the Faunch. We've said Faunch a lot.
People no longer have any reservations about you and even consider you a symbol of the law. Right now, your every decision will impact all of Fontaine. In other words, you've gradually transformed the whole nation.
Yeah, Kitsune Hira. Both of those things can be true. I mean, he probably, we see the direct parallels to what had happened before. So, it's both a trauma, thing as well as a, due diligence thing.
Yeah.
Which says a lot about his character, ultimately. So that's...
It says, this is a being in the shape of a white man that will make a racial traumatic issue all about his feelings. No, I'm just kidding.
Paimon gets it now. I wanted to join forces with Daddy.
I am undeserving of such high compliments. From my perspective, I have simply been fulfilling my duties. It isn't anything special or worthy of praise. I'm simply fulfilling the promises I've made and searching for answers through my judgments.
Jugement.
It is unnecessary to hold me in such high regard. The complexity of human emotions and willpower far exceed those of mine. As a matter of fact...
Alright, chat, bounty time. If anyone can get a copy of Arm Joe working, it's been a white whale of ours for multiple years now.
Decades, almost. So, there is a Les Miserables fighting game that was made by this Japanese indie dev in like the 2000s. Only because he thought the Japanese name for Les Mis, which is Amjo, which means like, oh, the world is unjust, that kind of a thing, sounded like Arm Joe. And he decided to make an entire fighting game based on that. This game is crazy, and as far as we know, it can't work on modern hardware. It is up to you to show us how to run Arm Joe.
There's no need to be so modest. The current state of affairs says it all.
We've had our top scientists working on it for years, and
you're no longer that
it apparently just won't run, even with virtual machines.
We've spared no expense.
Many would take the initiative to lend you a hand.
I must say that you've made a fair point. Thank you for clearing my doubts. Now that the case has been settled, I should get going.
Huh? You're leaving?
No, I like that Fontaine is racist. I think it's very authentic.
And so soon, too? Why not stay for a cup of tea?
Yeah, it's a Windows 95 game.
Yeah.
Thank you for the offer, but I know how this place works all too well. While some are here to redeem themselves...
Wait, what did he mean by that?
Inevitably be those who harbor
Thank you, but I know how this place works all too well. It's like... Is this like an actual Hades metaphor? He's like,
yeah!
It's like if you drink Risley's tea, you have to stay in Merovide, and that's why everyone refuses it.
Yeah. Clarande had half a cup. That's why she has to come down for half the year. All right. Also, bear with me here. Oh, please at us, Kitsune Kira.
Oh,
We
yeah.
will definitely retweet it. Okay, bear with me. This is the underworld. It is the Greek underworld, guarded by Cerberus. Orpheus. Orpheus in the underworld. The technical name for the Can song is Orpheus in the Underworld. The battle theme of the Fortress of Meropide should be the Can song. I swear to God.
It won't be.
I know it won't be.
They're too busy cooking bangers every single patch.
Yeah, they're cooking bangers and squandering potential. If there's one thing we know, it won't be the Can song.
Because you can.
Because you can. Hey, nice.
The less time I spend here, the better. My presence could very well result in an unwanted disturbance.
Dvorak should have looked more like Ziegler. Be like a big, jolly, over made up dude.
In that case, I'll have to insist. I still have 2 more things to say.
Please.
Or should they have like the mocap tech for them to have like one of the NPCs do a fraction of Ziegler's moves?
The first is about the guard who
Just like
helped Domenico
flying and
send that letter.
backflips.
Yes.
I know of what you speak. The guard was indeed deployed from the Palais Memornia staff. However, as I mentioned earlier, I visited today on personal business.
Dory was originally a backup
Therefore, I
dancer
leave
for the
that
Hindi
matter in
Sad
your
Diamond
hands.
segment, but she ran away and just kind of kept the costume.
Well, that makes things a lot easier.
There it is, her first scam.
My first scam.
Hey now, don't let your imagination run wild. Those from up there have a tendency to sympathize with others. However, down here, such thoughts will put you at high risk. I'll have a chat with the guard and remind him to take precautions in the future.
I see no issues with that.
I can already see like the 3-hour video essay about how Fontaine sucks because the entire justice system being like corrupt in new and imaginative ways we never could have possibly believed.
It's
Just through the
insane.
ending text.
I think it's the ineptitude that really surprised me, even though I shouldn't have, because the recurring theme is that the Archons are kind of inept. We're just like, we have no control what happens over in the jail, but we do send people there. Anyway, shrug.
Great, that's one thing out of the way.
Call out post, canceling Fontaine, in parentheses, the whole country.
The other thing was born from my own sense of curiosity. Now, I've heard that you investigated the mutual aid network.
Magic Justice Machine broke indeed.
Magic Justice Machine that runs on the wrestling idea of heat broke.
Neuvillette thought their badges looked familiar.
As long as the hype meter is high, that's the justice.
I noticed the small gang as well when I first took over the Fortress of Meropide. They were not
Which
great
is,
in
again,
number, but every
the whole
member
point
always
of
made sure to
Chicago.
stand up for what was right. I've looked into their founder,
Yeah, it's true.
Vautrin, who once stood trial and was sentenced to imprisonment in the fortress.
I forget who it was last time who said, like, a child gets up there and he's the girl who says, not guilty.
Yeah.
And I was like, the whole reason she is the only one put to death is because no one speaks her language, so they can't spin her story and do a media thing. Like, she is useless to...
I never got that. I didn't connect that. Oh my god.
I know, right? Just like, how useful are you to being a good, like, read?
According to existing documentation, Vautrin remained disciplined.
That
throughout
musical
his
month was a
imprisonment.
good idea before
He had never once
playing
engaged in
Fontaine.
physical or verbal aggression.
Either that or we're, like, way warping. we
Ray
see to-
warping the
to-
entire region due to just brain rot and
Exactly.
personal biases. Speaking of brain rot, which of the Fatui Harbingers is the
Presented himself
closest
in
to Vince
prison was very
McMahon?
different from his behavior in court.
I hope it's Piero.
I mean, it's gotta be Piero. He's the boss.
I hope that's his thing at the end of the day.
No one likes these. No one likes these.
No one likes what?
I don't think any of our fans even watch wrestling.
There's got to be one person out there. Whoever you are out there, I'm doing this for you.
We had to explain Arrested Development last night, and it was the saddest I've ever been. I'm never disappointed in you.
The sadness was Maripede. That was Maripede getting
I'm
to
never
you.
disappointed in you, Illuminati, in you, dear listeners and viewers. I am never, ever, ever disappointed. But I have to say, I was incredibly surprised.
What? During his trial, I could sense that his feelings were complicated. He appeared to be full of resentment, and I believe he had every right to feel that way.
Wrestling is incredibly nerdy.
Perhaps he had
Wrestling is the sports is wrestling is sports for nerds. A lot of people don't know that until you get into it, and then you realize.
Wrestling is a soap opera with stunts. It's also a shonen anime.
An act?
Neuvillette
shonen
and
anime borrow
Vautrin
from
had a
it.
close relationship as superior and subordinate.
The concept of anime
Vautrin
rivals is
must
just
have known
one
that the
long
Chief
form
Justice would
feud.
make an impartial judgment. Thus, the more resentment he displayed, the clearer it would be to those present that you were upholding justice. And to those who had been sitting on the fence, Vautrin's act was a very meaningful one.
This is exactly what's like, I forget his rank, but what Picard did in the Dreyfus affair. It's like, took one person to be like, hey, this might be kind of bullshit. For Emile Zola to write an impassioned piece about you and then get people's opinions on board.
That's all from me. Does anyone else have anything to say?
I don't have anything to say. Apart from expressing my gratitude, that is. Well then, let us head back. No need to see us off.
Oh good, I'm so glad, Spickle. I'm absolutely so glad that you took a detour to look at Arm Joe.
Arm Joe is legitimately a white whale. It's
Please,
just completely amazing in its invention.
Walk with Grandpapa.
That trial is something I rarely bring up in conversation, but I have always felt deep regret for what happened to both Carol and Vautrin. The words he spoke in court often replay in my mind, as if urging me on to do something.
Maybe do something then.
Risley said he never resented you, right? Isn't that a good thing?
I believe I now understand what he wanted to tell me. I feel conflicted about those words. How should I describe it? Surprise, relief, fear, and regret. But this
Neuvillette can't even pull off the look it's raining thing because the raining is him crying.
Yeah.
Like to hear your thoughts too. What do you think of me?
Paimon agrees with everything Risley said.
Paimon thinks you're really dependable.
As Chief Justice, every single one of your trials makes an impact on Fontaine. What do you think, Traveler? Hey, any comments?
What I really think is...
Wow. Two
Whoa,
lines.
hang on. Hold up.
Two lines.
He gets to say something?
Did they just replay the retching noise from the
Every trial you've ever judged has left its impression on you. And
Holy
that's
shit.
What makes you who you are today.
What the fuck? This feels so weird. Yeah. All you have to do to get like your opinion on the quality of both of those quests is like ask the Traveler. I really want to hear the Lucine barf noises. Oh, that's it. He's like, okay, I'm too tired. I can't say anymore.
That is indeed a reasonable assumption. As I said, I find it difficult to express my emotions because I cannot
I think they have to pay Zach Aguilar $200 for getting into the recording booth. You could probably record, like, a few more lines.
Right?
But I trust your judgment.
Like, for every session, you know, like, maybe just have a back pocket of things to possibly say.
It's weirder for him to say less.
Oh, so, Crook, there was in the previous Archon quest, the Traveler pretends to be sick and makes barfing noises for a second.
And it was voiced. It's very funny. There's like a million Traveler thoughts and lines in that chapter that would have been better served with a voice line, but we do have to hear the boy barf.
I will try to contemplate this further. Thank you both.
Oh. Huh? It's raining!
It's raining again.
I forgot to bring an umbrella! Come on, let's hurry before it rains harder!
I mean, you know why it's raining.
Either pretends to be mute again. After just
you know why it's raining. You guys figured it out last time.
Ugh.
You know he's sad. Don't leave him out there.
If he's sad, you're sad. Bring him.
It's raining again? I've had enough of this weather.
There go my travel plans.
Did you read the news this morning? Quick, put away everything on the clothesline.
When is this rain going to stop?
You do my name's Gavroche.
What do you mean he's not there anymore?
They're planning to reanimate the monster. We have to report this to the Chief Justice.
Yeah, I know. That was my reaction too.
Oh, that's so good.
The Fortress of Meropide. It's a good place for me.
I love it. Damn it, I wanted to hear Seymour speak.
We're actually going back to a scene that already happened in the game.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Neuvillette? You could say he's the real symbol of Fontaine's justice.
Watch him closely. He could be trouble.
Everybody hates me.
How
I'm set up with this
different
world.
species possibly coexist?
Who's been threatening Melusines? Show yourself!
This is the saddest it's ever been.
You will see much in the human world, from the delightful to the depressing. And one day, when you have dwelt among humanity long enough, you will be placed to bring judgment over all as a spokesperson for
Probably, because that's
Fontaine's
Serena's
past.
voice, but...
Good morning, Monsieur Neuvillette! The rainy season's almost over! The skies are supposed to clear in a few days!
I hope you find time to enjoy the sunny days ahead.
He's dying.
Master spies everyone. Hanging out outside her house, talking openly.
Yelling over the rain.
Is the matter resolved?
Oh my god, it's the Powerpuff Triplets. Oh, jeez.
We got all the flavors of Otter Pop right here.
Yep, we found the person who sent that threatening letter. Risley said he'd keep a close eye on him, so the Melusine should be safe now.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So you guys can write. Then why do you choose not to?
Sorry for dragging you all into this.
That should be it. That should be the end. He says, sorry for dragging you all into this. Everyone like laughs.
Laughs and hands up to the sky.
and there's a rainbow with Carol and the other guy.
Yeah, the clouds. God. Oh, it's terrible. Oh no.
Yeah.
There's no need to apologize.
And then you get an achievement, and the achievement is called Better Than the Old Viet.
Everyone has a good laugh.
Well, we know it's not going to be broken ass Metacomp because there's a Geo character in it.
No, she's gonna fix it. She's gonna create synthesis where there were none before.
I want to believe it.
By the way, where's Kiara?
At the Palais Mermonia, more than 50 people offered to protect her. Some even hid within the bushes to look out for danger.
But I just assumed they kind of wanted to do that anyway. We got some weirdos in this town.
I was worried that the excess of protection would make her feel uneasy, so I asked her to stay inside the Palais.
The credits start streaming. It's like, story, Dawe, direction, Dawe.
What a relief.
It's like Metal Gear 5. It's just like, this is name on
starring
like
the
text
Skulls.
Guest starring the Skulls Parasite Unit.
Guest starring the Children of the House of the Hearth. and Arlecchino as father.
To celebrate this joyous occasion.
Yeah, the Hearth, that's it, the Hearth, Fatui Unit.
Exclusive interview. That's not how you celebrate.
Yeah.
I will consider it.
Really?
Of course. My schedule is full for the following weeks, but I should be available next month.
Yay!
Come up with questions during the intervening days.
Ironically, Neuvillette's banner will have expired by then, so Neuvillette will not be available next month.
No!
Your trauma is our commodity. Build him to get hydro pump, you stooges.
You fucking rubes.
Neuvillette looks really sad. You know when he looks even sadder? When he's not blasting Spiral Abyss apart.
Weaponized trauma. Neuvillette's really like, Traveler, see how hard I can cry.
Yes!
Generational trauma? Ha! 400 generations exist within you. Blast him with water.
Generational trauma at 400 PSI.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I must head back to the Palais and issue a
This water cannon can cut through solid steel.
He gets back to the Palais, and Fiorina's just sitting outside. She's like, "Where were you? I locked myself out."
I hope it will assuage the concerns of all.
I had to sit outside and then it started raining. You know how sad I was? You would never understand sadness.
My hat's all wet. No one has ever had it worse than me.
Just going crazy at the end of this quest.
An exclusive interview. Am I dreaming? What should I ask him?
Oh, girls are hanging out.
Don't let anything hold you back. Make the most of this opportunity and ask away.
I agree. He'll decline any question he can't answer anyway, so you might as well give all of them a shot.
Tragibeam 9000. Charlotte's VA is fucking great.
Yeah, they're all good.
This game has incredibly good VAs.
I'm gonna call it that from now on, just the Tragibeam.
Tragibeam!
Tragibeam.
Take this, my sorrow, and all of my sorrow.
The wind rises.
Sadness Ray.
Oh, she's sleeping, standing up.
It's almost like she doesn't have a lying down animation.
I'm gonna take a picture. They do fight over the table every Thanksgiving. I like how the guy had to clarify, I'm not racist. It was just convenient. Oh, you're right, Kira. Oh my god, fuck daily locked world quests. Fuck world quests that are locked behind commissions. Fuck world quests that are locked behind repeat commissions. Evil.
Kiara?
Yeah.
Monsieur Neuvillette? Sorry, I accidentally fell asleep.
She doesn't have a sleeping animation because she usually just goes into her little shell.
It's quite all right. I'm here to tell you that we have caught the sender of that threatening letter. You're safe now.
Thank you, Monsieur. And thank you too, Traveler and Big Sis Paimon. Everyone's been so nice to me, so I've always felt really safe.
Do you remember Domenico? He was the sender of that letter.
Let me think. I can't remember. My memory isn't that good, so I easily forget things.
I am playing on PlayStation with a controller. Oh, sorry, no, literally the opposite. I'm so tired. No, I'm on PC with a PlayStation controller.
By the way, I saw Carol in my dreams just now. Where's she gone, by the way? I haven't seen her.
No, you don't know?
Oh my god, she doesn't know. Is she stupid?
I mean, they must know, right?
I always hear you kids saying ACAB these days, but can you say ACAB to this?
In my dream, she looked really happy.
Snap.
She held my hand and said, Kiara, our dreams have finally come true. I can't remember what our dreams were anymore, and I don't know why. But I felt really happy too.
I can sense your joy. It is indeed a delightful moment.
Monsieur Neuvillette, are you happy too? Oh, I almost forgot. Am I allowed to go out now? I promised to model for Alof.
We better get pictures of her in a cute little dress.
Of course. Off you go.
See you next time, Monsieur, Traveler, and Big Sis
She just has tenure.
See you next time.
Yeah, they have a grotesque install size on the phone, honestly.
It's only gonna get bigger from here.
Yay!
Fifi, have you seen those Doofus Goobus animations about putting Winnie the Pooh in charge of all world politics and everyone just like collectively giving up on like evil as a concept because they think he's too cute and innocent to expose him to that?
Slugs will solve all of our problems with corrupt law enforcement. Right. Oh my god. Of course. Of course.
Weirdly kind of good like advice from Fiorina, although probably coming from the wrong place.
Yeah.
It's like she's right, but like, you know.
Oh my god.
If something unfortunate happens, you'd still run into a lot of unique characters along the way.
Like me, I almost got killed by some lady. Rare Fiorina
like,
dub. Yeah.
Fiorina's just like, I'm hardened. I was jumped the other day.
Yeah. That is cute. They are like, they're fond of each other. They're looking out for each other.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Neuvillette does say, like, hey, can you go hang out with Furina? She can't be left alone with our Lucino. Like, that is his, like, look, I have to go down to the sewers to plug up that hole. You go to the terrible tea party.
An interesting line. Furina's just here to have a fun time. You know, assassination attempts, that's just part of it. You can't sweat the small stuff.
I can't wait for her in-game rendition of Girls Just Wanna Have Fun.
Oh, yes. Alright. Well, that was really lovely, and it almost made me forget how bad Act 3 was.
My recency bias tells me that that makes up for everything.
Yeah, Goldfish memory. Oh, right, the shop reset today. Ooh!
Oh, yeah, you gotta do your stuff.
Now,
check on your, if you got any extra event currency too, you might be able to do an actual 10 pull.
Oh,
There's no need.
I did this thing.
Oh, okay, yeah, you got it then. Got it.
As our very own Break just once said, it would indeed be the low poly cherry on the green cake if I was in fact to receive a grandpapa in this very stream, on this very roll, on the last thing we may post before the strikes.
Alright, let's see
Can it happen? I'll wait for chat to catch up so I can get maximum spirit energy.
Everyone, put your hands in the air to create a small spirit bomb, or possibly water ball,
Hands towards the Jade Chamber,
with which to harness the Tragibeam 9000.
Give us the wet grandpa. Thank you,
Here we go,
Spickle.
get into the
Thank
hands.
you, Cyvic. Thank you all. Yes, the fan art, infuse our prayers. I'll wait until the chat fills up with energy.
Do we have a team chant for this?
Wait, banner is called Decree of the Deep, plural? That doesn't seem right.
The Deeps, plural.
Let's go, Grandpa. No.
Bless
Neuvillette.
bless Saint Aldrich of the Deep.
No.
Beata
He hates
Maria.
Beata Maria.
Wait, no, Beata Fiorina.
Beata Fiorina. You know I am a soggy man. Let's go! Justice!
You know that water soaks my flesh and bones.
Oh well.
Well, good try, guys. Oh shit! Thanks for the tip, Cyvic. Oh, that's
Nice, Lynette.
good.
Oh, that's good.
I'll take another Lynette. Maybe he didn't see it. We have enough for a goofy couple rolls. Maybe he just missed the fan art. That's it, huh? Uno mas, uno mas.
Come on, gold.
Oh my god. Beesh.
Nah.
Doesn't love the fan art.
Nah.
Well, that's showbiz.
There's still a few days.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Sorry, Fischl. Not enough.
Nice.
Always good to see Miss Amy again. Nah, I don't think I want to tap into my emergency funds.
It's rather pathetic
Oh,
to
well.
force a conversation.
Oh,
just
well.
to occupy silence.
So... yeah, that's just from Welkins. I generally don't cash them out until there's some, like, either I'm dying to have, but I would prefer to save it for, like, a costume. Because fuck paying for a costume out of pocket. Is there, yeah, that's all my Welkin mini. Well. Maybe that's great. However, if Arlecchino is a possibility, then I am
Which
doomed.
I think she is. She said as much herself.
Oh, right. Before I either break or stop, I think maybe I will stream, I think I will stream the comedy writer thing, but I do want to take a break for biological needs and sustenance.
I might call it for the evening.
Alright,
Yeah,
it was extremely fun. Maybe Wander will tag in or something like that.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Yeah.
I might poke my head back in later, maybe not, who knows?
Please do if you feel inclined. This is, after all, our farewell for a minute.
This is it. This is the last of it before the strike.
Yay.
6 years later.
6 years later. Well, Genshin Impact. That was an okay game, I guess.
Well, this is it. This is the end here. See you later, folks.
And they were never heard from again.
Thank you for Add Astra.
Okay. So before I wrapped up this stream, I did want to see Momoyo.
Oh, yeah.
And see how they covered their ass with Arlecchino. Also, sorry, I should say that any musing about future characters is rhetorical. And I don't actually... Our policy is at least not to have leaks appear in our, in our goings-on. Okay.
Too slow.
Thanks for coming,
Have a good one,
Spickle.
Spickle.
Yeah, thanks for dropping by.
Is she in the boat?
Quit following me.
Okay, so where was Momoyo?
I think she's at the shrine. Not?
No, they said They added her to the overworld in 4.0.
Huh.
The left docks. Oh, okay.
Too slow. Quit following me.
You see, they added a consecrated scorpion nearby Orobashi's head.
That's so weird.
Okay, no, because apparently they get like that from drinking corrupt, like, dragon blood.
Why are there scorpions in Japan?
I don't know. They swam.
No, yeah, like just the fact that they started adding in all this stuff to kind of get Arlecchino off the hook for a lot of the atrocities that the Knave was known for is like, okay, they're gearing up to make her playable in like the most cowardly way possible. Oh yeah, that is her! She got the eye patch! Okay, your real name is Chitose, I forgot. Oh my god. The back down.
The back down.
No, see, he was following the instructions of the previous Knave, who was a bad person. Boo.
So, hello, Bedrock Parts.
Hi, Bedrock Parts. Changes. God. Thanks for coming along, Kitsune Kira. I can't wait to see the Neuvillette fan art.
Yeah, thanks for being around.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too, Kira. Me too. Oh, that's actually the no. God.
When was she added back into the game?
4.0 apparently.
So that's when they definitively decided.
They saw my YouTube short and said, oh, that's what people think about her. Shit, how are we gonna sell these, 500 crates of Arlecchino that we pre-order? Alrighty, so I'm gonna take a break. I think maybe I'll be back around 7:30, and that'll be, I think, just kind of a looser, chattier session where I also try to do this World Quest, the whatever comedy. And if I don't see you there, then thank you so much for tuning in today and also yesterday, and it might be a minute, but you'll see us around.
Yeah.
And if
have a
you
good
miss
one,
us,
everyone.
If you miss us too much,
thanks,
then send a polite email to Formosa telling him to get their shit together, so that your favorite Genshin podcast can cover their beat again. like, the good news is this is going to be our season break anyway, so it probably won't cut out too much, like, work for us that you weren't already going to get, but, that's assuming that this resolves quickly. And who knows? So, with that, for now, I say adieu, and we will reconvene at 7:30 tonight, Pacific Daylight Time. I'll make one more stream announcement, and that'll do it. Alrighty. Thanks a lot, party people. And goodbye.
Yeah.
See you in the next one.
Yeah.